Okay, colleagues, I see it's 3 minutes past, and we have just about half of the persons who registered for this webinar. So I guess we could get started because I'm very mindful of and respectful of your time. So I don't want to keep you back too much, right? Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this workshop. And in this workshop, it's going to be a little hands-on. You're going to build some things in your MyeLearning courses, and we'll get to that bridge. This particular workshop, we know that there is the ongoing COVID dispensation, and so there's an upsurge in remote delivery, yeah? And so the campus principal has even mandated that we use MyeLearning and Blackboard Collaborate as the primary platforms to facilitate this mode. All right, so definitely we see the relevance and appropriation of this particular workshop. Some of you may have attended a webinar that I have been doing for the past 2 or 3 weeks on preparing your course for remote teaching and learning. So this is an extension of that. This is, moving forward, the next step in the process. So in that particular webinar, you would have looked at creating a course plan. We would have mapped out the process for you. And all of that stuff, and now we're taking it a step further where we are building our courses in MyeLearning and by extension Blackboard. So, oh, by the way, I'm the facilitator for this particular workshop, Justin Zephyrin, and yeah, we could get the show started, right? So right off the bat, I'm going to ask you, and you could type it in the chat, and yeah, you could type it in the chat. What are the 5 things that you know about MyeLearning? Sorry, about Blackboard and MyeLearning. Yeah. Yes, Arlette. And for the instructions here, you could just type it in the chat. Arlette,
sorry,
go
Justin,
ahead.
I was trying to hit the chat button and I inadvertently raised my hand.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Justin, sorry, just to let you know, I'm on the road and will not be landed until the next half an hour. So I'm not participating in this, not because of disrespect, but because I'm driving.
All right, I got you. I think you're moving like your students. Right? Students tend to do that all the time. They're always in transit, and that's one of the benefits of teaching and learning remotely, that it adds a little more convenience, yeah? So you could technically be 2 places at the same time. All right, so as you type in the chat, let me just, before we get to this activity, let me just walk you through this particular room. You would see at the bottom of the slide that you're seeing in front of you, you would see a couple icons. One of them would be the microphone icon. And we're asking that, I think by default, it should have a strike through. When you need to speak, just feel free to hit that microphone button and it should become live and then we can hear you. Next to that, on the right side of that, you would see a camera icon. That camera icon, by default, again, it's strike through. So if you would like to share your camera or video, so to speak, then you would click that button. However, for this particular workshop, it's not necessary, so you don't have to share your camera. You can leave it off for now. And this brings me to another point before I go further. With regard to when you are doing your sessions, you might, I've gotten the question a couple times, whether we should ask students to share their cameras, so at least we can verify if they're paying attention and so on. While the intention might be good, the practicality of it is not so good, because you're going to have students who have different or insufficient bandwidth to support the sharing of video yeah, of camera, putting on their cameras and so on. So to allow for a smoother experience in Blackboard, especially if it's a large class, I would recommend that you instruct them to leave the cameras off. Yeah. Added to that, cameras could be a little distracting too. So anyway, so to the next to that camera icon, you would see an icon with a raise hand. So if you'd like to make a contribution, raise a question, suggest something, feel free to click on that icon, and I can cue you to speak. All right. So I see some responses in the chat. Amina said you're allowed to get ready before your video is shown. Yes, yes. You can show your reactions through smiley faces. You can share files with students. You can enter marks. There's an announcement board. You're definitely right, Amina. Rodolfo said it is familiar. Oh, that is, yeah, definitely. For most students, not all. It's not complex when you're familiar with it, definitely. Allows you to use Blackboard Collaborate with its facilities, definitely. Indra, go ahead. Just click on the microphone at the bottom of the screen.
It allows a great deal of flexibility in delivering your lectures.
Definitely, definitely.
And I think that's one of the things I like about it.
You're very right. You're very right. Because it's remote, like we said before, it adds some convenience. Yeah.
It adds value to the way you can deliver the lectures.
Exactly. You don't necessarily have to commute to come to a physical classroom. You can, students can do it at their homes, sometimes in transit to the location like Muriel is, that sort of thing. So it adds a huge bit of convenience.
And it also eliminates the need for paper in lectures,
Yes.
notes, and so on.
Yes. Yes, it's definitely right.
It's you tend to forget sometimes, but it is very much the case in this MyeLearning mode.
Right. You're right. You're very right. I see Celia said in the chat, Moodle is free. BBC is not. I like that, Celia. Very good. Moodle is developed in Australia. Very good. Celia, did you do a Google search for that quick? Moodle is backend of MyeLearning. Okay, good. You're quite informed. I'm just kidding. Blackboard Collaborate and MyeLearning are automatically integrated. On this campus, yes, or in this context, virtual can be interactive. It allows assessment techniques. This is Janet, sorry, who said that. Students can be afforded the opportunity to have control of a session. Yes, to an extent. Population of sessions can be done in totality, yes. I think you mean like attendance and those things, yes. I think Elizabeth said students can submit essays on Turnitin, yes. Students can sign up for tutorial, definitely. You can make announcements, of course. You can upload a course outline and other resources, and so on. Yes, you're definitely right.
And you can have review sessions on your own.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I'm seeing Arlette said seamless information exchange between students and lecturers. Seamless, yes, definitely. All right. So yes, so I'm glad that we're somewhat familiar with MyeLearning and Blackboard to an extent. All right. So we do have some objectives to guide us in this session. And so some of the things I might just gloss over since we have an idea of what MyeLearning is. So for example, defining MyeLearning and describing the educational significance of it and the user roles. I think those things, I'm not going to skip them entirely, but I may not spend as much time on them. I'll just gloss over them, and then we get to the meat of it, which is really where you will be building your courses, or which includes, of course, creating a Blackboard session. All right. So definitely, you can see where this would be a hands-on experience. one way or the other. Even if you don't have access to a MyeLearning course at the moment, we can still make it hands-on even in this context. So right off the bat, when we think of MyeLearning, and I think Celia hit the nail on the head, MyeLearning is the same as Moodle. Now Moodle is the universal platform, and MyeLearning is our branding of Moodle. Yeah, so think of it like Android phones. Android phones, there are different brands of Android phones. For example, Samsung, that's an Android phone. Blue, that's an Android. Those are Android phones. Huawei, those are Android devices. And so they're all Android devices. They're all different brandings of the same Android platform, more or less. Yeah. In like manner, MyeLearning is our branding of Moodle. Yeah. Other institutions or even campuses might have a different name. All right. But in our context, we call it MyeLearning. Now, MyeLearning or Moodle is an acronym, as you see here. And when you see the layout of it, for those of you who may be familiar with it, you could see how it might be modular, yeah, or how it is modular. All right. It's also a dynamic learning environment, in the sense that you have students. No two cohorts are ever the same. No two teaching and learning experiences are ever the same. Yeah, so you also get that dynamic aspect of it. It's different. It's constantly evolving. Yeah. Now, as you mentioned in the icebreaker and the activity there, you all were on point. MyeLearning, and just so you know, is a learning management system, and a learning management system or online course environment is a place that allows you to deliver deliver your courses online or remotely. More specifically, it facilitates course administration. So for example, if you want to grade students, assign assessments, if you want to put students into groups, somewhere along the way I'll show you that. If you want to communicate with students, whether it's you want students to, two-way communication between you and your students, and also among students, yeah? So it facilitates communication. Even on a level of one-to-ones, if you want to communicate with one student instead of the entire class, you can do that as well, which I'll show you, or which we will do together. It allows, I think Elizabeth mentioned, it allows you to upload content, so distribution of materials, whether it's lecture notes, slides, PowerPoint, Excel, images, videos, even URLs. You can make those materials available, your course content or resources. And of course, it facilitates active learning. What do I mean by active learning? Anybody?
Learning by doing.
You're definitely right. I actually have it on another slide, learning by doing. You're definitely right. All right, so good. So this whole, when we talk about remote learning or online learning, it falls into a wider continuum. All right, that goes from face-to-face all the way to online. And so you would have remembered in the past, let's say, for example, just up to last year around this time, yeah, many of us were doing either face-to-face or blended, yeah. So we would meet our students in JFK Lecture Hall or Daga Auditorium or those different lecture rooms or tutorial rooms and have our classes there. And we may put stuff on MyeLearning just, to support it, like, lecture notes and so on, some of us. But now we're going to 100% online or remote because we, of course, this current situation, we don't have that physical meeting space, so to speak. So everything must be done virtually. Yeah. So it's 100% online, technically speaking. Now, MyeLearning is the philosophy behind it or theory behind it is constructivism. And basically, in a nutshell, constructivism is all about interaction, active learning, as I think Amina said just now. It allows you it must be engaging for students. It's not just where you use it as a repository where you just I know someone who says just slap information online and then let students read it. No, you have to fold certain activities and so on, assessments and all that stuff into it, and that way you get the most out of that platform. So yes, you have the content, yes, you have the assessments, but you also have activities that would bridge the gap between the objectives and the content and the assessments or performance or students' performance. And to that end, as some of you may have heard when you did our previous session, and preparing your course for remote teaching and learning, I highlighted 3 basic elements when you're building or designing your online or remote course. And these are the 3 elements. Does anyone remember can anyone explain what these 3 elements are? It might sound familiar for those of you who were in that webinar last week or earlier this week. Anybody? Okay, I guess I need to call some people. Gita or Elizabeth?
Oh, okay.
You can take a shot. I mean, you know, yeah, you don't have to be right.
Yeah, so we talked about the cognitive presence being whatever information is being shared, whether it's your course content, even to an extent the activities. We spoke about teacher presence, being what mode the teacher may decide to interact. It could be asynchronous or synchronous. We also spoke about social presence being the type of interaction between the students or the learners rather, and the lecturer being, and that could take the form of activities or presentations or lectures. Yes.
Excellent. See, you hit the nail on the head. Let me just hit you a little high five or a little well, I can't give a high five, but I guess a clap. All right, so yes, you hit the nail on the head. So you have the teacher presence. Of course, that would be, for example, you giving your instructions, helping students, guiding students along the way, helping them make connections and so on. You have the social presence, as Alicia just said, where the students would be given opportunities to, or learners would be given opportunities to interact with each other, share different opinions, and really get to, at that point you create, and you'll hear me say throughout this particular session, create a community of learners, where they are all networked or connected and learn together. No one is left behind. And then you have the cognitive, and the reason I'm saying no one is left behind is because, in an online or remote course, it's very, very, very easy to feel isolated or to kind of, to struggle. Some people could struggle with it. So you really want to create that class community. Yes, Gita, and you set the tone for that. That's where the teacher presence and social presence connect or overlap. You set the tone for that with your introduction and all these things that we'll do later on in this particular session. And of course, the cognitive presence would be where students are able to make connections. The term says, it's the cognitive processes, so the neuroscientific processes that go on as they learn, and they make connections with different things and as they engage or interact in the course, So thank you so much for that, Alicia. Good. All right, so as we move forward, guys, the next thing that we're going to look at, well, of course, moving forward, is just to get access to MyeLearning. All right, now, to access MyeLearning, I'm going to send you, let me just put a poll before I even get to that. All right, so I'll just put a poll just to find out how many of us have access to your course in MyeLearning. All right. Yes, Patricia? I think it may be a slip. All right. Go ahead. Click on any one of the responses that represents you. I see some people are having connectivity issues. That's okay. Right. I see 9 persons still have to vote. Do you have access to your course in MyeLearning? Right, Krishna, you could click yes on the in the poll, so I'll get an accurate reading. Okay, it's fairly close. We have just 4 more persons to vote. Or 2 more.
Indra?
Sorry?
Did you get my response, Indra?
I'm looking at the same thing that you clicked on yes or no?
Yes, I clicked on yes.
Okay, right. So I'll show you the results in just a bit. I was just waiting for a couple of persons to vote. Just 4 more.
That went through.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So end it now. We it's almost even. Just a couple more persons to vote, but I'll end it now. So this is what it looks like. So we could say more or less the same. It's kind of 50-50. Yeah. So that's pretty good. So for those of you who have access to your courses, I will ask you to log into those courses or to your MyeLearning account in just a bit. And for those of you who do not have courses in MyeLearning, there are a couple things. So I'm sending a link in the chat here that will guide you accordingly. All right, so I'll give you a couple minutes to fill that out. It's an enrollment, it's a request for enrollment keys. So I just placed it in the chat. It's a request for enrollment keys. So you click on that link and you can do it now because it wouldn't take, it'll take just 30 seconds to complete. All right, and I can give you that time right now. So you click on that link and it will take you to a very short form, directly to a very short form where you just have to insert your name, contact number, I believe, or email address, and then identify the course that you need access to. Now, in some cases, if you do not have, some of you might be waiting for your accounts to be reactivated. I would still recommend that you complete this form, so at least you start the process, and when your accounts are reactivated, or at least you can access them again, you would already have the enrollment keys. All right? Yes, Athleen?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
When we had our session earlier on this week, I got the key and everything, and I got an email stating that I could log in, but when I tried, I wasn't able to connect at all.
Were you able? So what did it say?
It was just kind of either my username or password was incorrect, and then when I put it to get my password, and it didn't send me a link at all, so I'm not sure what was happening.
Okay. And you could try. Oh, Janet had the same problem.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So you weren't able to log into MyeLearning. But your email is still, it went to your staff email, correct?
That's correct, but not well yet. It did.
Right. Did it go to your staff email or your personal email?
But it's my personal. Everything was my personal email. I'm not even sure if I have a staff email.
Right. Okay. Well, in a case like that, it might be the situation that your account needs to be reactivated. So for that situation, and I guess Janet could relate as well. What I would recommend is you can liaise with your admin assistant, the department's admin assistant, or the course coordinator, and they can expedite the process for you. They would liaise, of course, with the head of department. And then the head of the HOD will send that, will liaise with HR, yeah, to get that off the ground.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
John. You can do so now. You could send an email to them now, just to your head of your HOD or your your program coordinator, because the teaching starts, I think, on the 7th or 14th. So we really want to get that. You want to have access before that, yeah. So at least you could start building your course. So definitely, try to do that as soon as possible. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Right, Krishna. Sure, no problem. Right, Krishna, you have your enrollment keys. Good. Right. Jens, do you have your enrollment keys? Oh, you don't have any UE email address. You probably haven't, maybe you weren't aware of it, or the communication wasn't sent to you.
No, I don't think he has one, Justin.
Oh, no.
Okay. He is from Germany and teaching in one of our programs, the master's program.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, we'll have to look into that. I think in a case like that, I think the same advice would go for that as well, where you can liaise with your program coordinator and get them to activate your accounts. Yeah. All right, great. I see, Gita, you have your keys for four courses. Wow. And you entered MyeLearning. Very good. Very good. All right. And on that note, guys, as Gita said on another laptop, I'm just advising, this is what, it's always important. I know I'm jumping the gun, but this session, first of all, is going to be very flexible and organic. So I might be, doing things here and there, and still trying to manage the time. Okay. So I'll try to show you as much as I can, or we'll try to, I keep saying showing, but we will be doing as much as we can. So at least you are halfway through in the process, yeah, or at least initiated the process in building your course in MyeLearning. So, oh, I see Indira. You don't have an active UE email address. So I think in all those cases where you're not sure or you may not have an active UE email address, definitely liaise with your administrative assistant, yeah. And they would liaise with CITS and HR to get that off the ground, because you would need you need to have an active UE email, because a lot of information is going to be sent there, and then you also need to have access to MyeLearning. They kind of work hand in hand. So definitely try to contact those persons to get that off the ground, hopefully by this afternoon or Monday for the latest. Yeah. Yes, your AA or your program coordinator or your dean, if push comes to shove. All right. And they will try to expedite the process and so on. So when you're trying to access MyeLearning, and I'm saying this not just for staff, but also for students, you might want to take a little note of some of these contacts. All right. Students need to have two main things ironed out. One, they need to be registered for the course. Of course, that is through Banner. They go on Banner and they register for the course. And two, they must be financially cleared. All right. So, for example, some of you may have heard, like, students say, they have a hold on their accounts and so on and so on, and that's because they have some sort of financial hold or some outstanding debt that they need to pay. All right. So in that case, I would always recommend that you share this information with your students, especially now we're in a time where they cannot go to admin physically, but they would need to contact the administration, yeah, or bursary to get their stuff ironed out. So I'm recommending that you share these contact numbers with them where necessary. For staff, however, all you need is a current UWI contract, and that's it. That's it. And of course, some of you, sorry, might be waiting for your contracts, well, not contracts to be renewed, but, well, I guess contracts to be renewed / reactivated. So that it should not take too long. but it can if it's kind of, if persons aren't following up with it. So like I said, contact your admin assistant or program coordinator or your dean, faculty dean, and or your HR, your head of department. And so those are 4 different avenues you could go for that, and they would do the needful. All right. So to access MyeLearning, there are different ways you can access it, but I like to go very directly. So the second link we see here, the MyeLearning address, it's myelearning.sta.uwi.edu. I'll type it in the chat for you. myelearning.sta.uwi.edu. Now, for those of you who have access to your courses, I'll recommend that you log in even now. All right, so we can get that going. And for those of you who do not have access to a MyeLearning course, I have everything on the slide. I'm going to be sharing my screen first of all, and I also have the process recorded on this current slide. So every time I go through a process, I'll recap it using this slide. So you will be able to see everything, what it looks like, what the sequence of steps might be, and that sort of thing. And added to that, of course, you're going to be getting a recording of this, a copy of this recording. All right, which you should get by Monday for the latest. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I remember when we had a session earlier this week. I still haven't gotten a copy of that one either.
You didn't get it? No, I do it every Friday. Oh yeah, I do it at the end of the week. So yeah, you'll get it for earlier this week. You're gonna get today, and for today you're gonna get by Monday. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, because I have training sessions every day, so it's I kind of reserve some time after the workday on Friday to kind of edit or do some post-production and then send it out. All right. If you don't get it by this evening, just send an email. Just send an email to me and I can send it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. So to log into MyeLearning, you're just gonna need your UWI ID number. All right, and that'll be your username, and then of course the password is a password. Of course, you would have to put in. You would know your password. All right. And then you click login. Now, just to map out the process, so some of us were able to complete that form, yeah, that I just sent, the request for enrollment keys.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So, and some of you were logging into MyeLearning as we speak. So, so this is the process here. Your request for enrollment keys, send a request for enrollment keys, which we just did, right? The enrollment key would normally be sent to you via email, all right? As I think some others are at this step as well. And then we log into MyeLearning, and some of you are at this step as well, all right? And then you're gonna locate your course and paste the enrollment key. I'll show you where it'll be on the page. You're gonna locate your course and then click on that course title and insert the enrollment key. When you insert or paste the enrollment key that you copied from your email, you click enroll me, and that's it. You won't even need that enrollment key after that to enter your course. It's a one-time enrollment key, and that's it. All right. And so when you log into MyeLearning, so we're taking it from the previous slide, where you log into MyeLearning, which is in the middle here. All right. And then you log into MyeLearning. The first thing you're going to see is what we call your dashboard, or course. Some people might call it a course portal page or dashboard. And that's in this graphic on the left here. All right. This is kind of a little snippet of what your course might look like. If it's looking a little small, then simply click on the close to the top left side. You would see an icon with a magnifying glass. Click on that icon, and then click on the plus sign to make the slide a little bigger on your screen. All right. So yes, you're going to see when you log in, you're going to see all the courses for which you've registered. And I'll show you a little shortcut. Now, does anyone have a problem where they encounter where you have multiple courses and it's a little difficult to search through or sift through your courses?
I do have a few courses.
Right. And Indira, are you logged in already? Sorry, Indra, are you logged in already?
I was actually on MyeLearning on the other computer.
Okay, great. That's all right. Once you have access to it right now.
Your dashboard. I mean, I do have access and I know how to get to it, but I'm seeing the course overview on my screen here. I'm not seeing that dashboard with user support and search for courses, etc. But I know how to find it.
Right. I'm going to show you. I'll share my screen in just a bit to show you what you can do to make it easier for you to locate your courses. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So the next thing I'm gonna so you search for you click on you enter your dashboard, and then you would see on this far right side here, you want to click search for courses. All right. Now this part on the right side here is usually on the right side of your screen. Sometimes it's at the right side of your screen. You just have to scroll down a little bit, or it might be, depending on the configuration of your machine, it might be at the bottom of the page.
It's more towards the bottom on the teaching staff course search.
There we go. Yeah. So yes, so you'll see it either on the right side or at the bottom of the page. And it just varies based on and part of the based on the configuration of your machine. And this has happened as it has become a more mobile-friendly platform. So you would find things, the layout are slightly different on different devices. All right, so just giving you a little tip about that. Now, this middle column here also has support information, not just on MyeLearning, but also on Blackboard and Turnitin. Now, these in the middle here, you see user support on my slide. This really speaks to if you need a quick recap or a little walkthrough or a user guide or a tutorial video, you have all of that here, or a web page with some of the different resources you might need. All right, so you're not left alone at any phase of this process, any stage of this process. So let me just share my screen a little bit before I get back to. So everyone, well, for those of you who have access to your courses, you should be on your dashboard already, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to share my screen here, and no, you're not seeing it. Let me just, okay. Okay, you should see my screen now. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to my dashboard just a little bit to kind of just show you something, okay? So in a case like this, where you have your courses here, and let's say you have a whole bunch of courses that you need to find or sift through, and you find it's a little too much. So for example, like Gita, you might have 4 courses this semester, but you would also have courses from previous semesters, not so? So what you would do is you can star your courses so that they only show, you kind of set a filter for your courses. So you click on this little icon here, you'd see a little 3-dot icon next to the course title.
Right.
And you would see star this course.
Okay. Right.
Right. You click star this course.
Mm-hmm.
And that way it makes it easier for you to search for your course, sorry. You know, and so for example, I have here start courses, and that, I mean, it's only one course I have at the moment, but you're going to see it right there. You can just put start courses, and those would be the courses for this semester. All right. So that's the way to help your search a little easier on navigating through your different courses. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you need me to show you again?
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So you go to your course, you enter MyeLearning. Once you log in and you go straight, you'll be taken to your dashboard. and you're going to see all the courses that you have in your profile. What you're going to do is click on the tile, for example, or you'll see like 3 dots next to the course title. You click on it and you see star this course, and that way you click star this course, and those starred courses will end up, you know, front and center or at the top of your list basically. All right. Yes, Gita?
On one of my courses, I get a note, could not change favorite state.
Could not what?
Could not change favorite state.
Could not change favorite state.
Yes.
Is that when you click on the 3 dots you see here?
Yes. On other 3, I could get a star, but on the 4th course, starring course failed. Could not change favorite state.
What is it? Is that a course in your particular program, or it's a generic course?
No, it's my particular program. Faculty of Medicine, yes.
Sorry?
It's the particular course. MDSC 1401.
Yeah, I'll probably have to look into that. It probably means that the course has some special configuration that has basically.
They'll change the course code this year.
Oh, so there we go. Maybe that may have had because it's not a active course, or because it's discontinued in that particular code. But that's okay. But you get the gist of it, right? So what I want you to do now, you should click search for courses. On your screen, it might be at the bottom of the page. On my screen, it's on the right side. So for those of you looking on, just know that it will either be on the right side, usually it's midway right side, or at the bottom of the page. So you click search for courses here, and then you type, you know, whatever the course code is. All right? You type the course code, and then let's say I wanted to say, let me just look for a course here, all right? Just a random thing. All right, you type the course code, and then you click on it, and it will prompt you to state the enrollment key. You paste the enrollment key, and then click enroll me. All right. So far, so good?
Yes.
All right, great. Any questions so far?
Oh, Justin, can you please repeat what you just said? I was searching for a course here.
Oh, I was just saying that you search for
courses. And you just
then
code.
Right, very good. Go ahead.
Right, so I put it in and then go.
Right.
And once I get it here, where do I put in the enrollment key?
You click on the course. Click on the course title.
Yeah. Oh, just now I'm seeing some old ones. Just right, I got it.
Right.
So
and then it will prompt you. It'll prompt you to.
I found it. Good. Thank you. That's
right.
Good. Enroll me.
And that's it. All right.
Good.
Any other questions, guys, or so far so good?
It's good for me so far.
All right, great. Great, Celia, you're good. All right, so I'm showing you this slide here. Now, if you want to it's too big on your screen, you could simply click, like I said, the magnifying glass on the top left side, and then click the minus sign, yeah? So when you click, now, like I said, so Indra, you would not need that enrollment key again for that particular course.
No.
Anytime you it's going to appear in your dashboard. Now, I would recommend, even now, Indra, you might want to go to your dashboard and click on and start that course. So it always shows up at the top of your list.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, that's what I wanted to do earlier because all the other courses I had were old ones. So this is the one I wanted to see.
Yeah, I should have done that after.
Okay, yeah. I got it. I have started.
Okay, great. Right, so when you enter your course, you just click on the course title and it will take you to a shell an empty shell, course shell, something that looks like this. Yeah?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm hearing somebody. Gita, go ahead.
No, I just said yes.
Oh, okay, good. So you would see a course shell that looks like this. And what we need to do, guys, and for those of you looking on, this is what it looks like. You would notice that you see a couple things. And if you just take a moment to observe the layout of it, you would notice there are 3 columns. And let me just go back to my page and you'd see what a live version looks like. All right, so it looks something like this, and you're going to see 3 columns. 1 column here on the left side with participants and so on and so on. Now, some of you may not see this left column. Is everyone seeing this left column or no?
I don't see it.
Right, perfect, and I mean perfect in a good way. So what you need to do is click on this.
Sorry, Justin. I just clicked the 3 dashes or 4 dashes there, and I got it.
Very good. I was going to see that. Good. So anyone who needs to see that left column, just click on the next to your course title, basically, I think, or right under the request, and it will pop up. So it's a way of, let's say, if you don't want all this clutter on your, you want to see just what the main page looks like. You could always take it off, and it's there. But I like to have it so I can see, it's just a couple quick links along the way. Now, this particular block, this left side, is really for administrative purposes. So if you need to go in and see who are the persons enrolled in your course, and we'll get to that in just a bit. You don't have to do it now. If you need to grade, get an overview of the grades. If you need to add a particular block as well, this is where you go to do it. Now, first things first, I should have asked you to do this. You would need to click Turn Editing On, and that's on the top right side. Turn Editing On.
Yep.
Okay. It's a big blue button on the top right side. You turn Editing on, and you're going to see a host of icons appear all over the page, and that will let you know also that it's in editing mode. All right. Now I want you to go back on the left column and scroll all the way down, and you would see Add a Block. It should be usually around probably the last item in the left column. Add a block. Yeah, everyone saw that, right?
No.
But I know my people in the who are looking on to this shared screen could see it. But those of you who are logged into your courses.
So I have to go into my courses to add the block?
Yes, go to your live course. Go into whatever live course you have now.
I'm in with all the topics.
Justin, excuse, if you could just go over that step again, please. Sure,
no problem. To start from where? The accessing the course?
Yes, just this section that you just did.
Oh, this section here. All right. So when you go into your course, you just click on the course title. So, okay, we go from your dashboard. Let's say this is my dashboard, and I want to enter a particular course. All right. Usually the course would be here. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing it, but usually the course would be here. Let me just put all courses. Good. And I click on the course title, and it takes me to that course. It will take you to a course that looks like this. Right? You would normally see the course title close to the top of the page. All right. On the right side, I want you to click Turn Editing On. Turn Editing On.
Yeah.
When you click Turn Editing On, you would see a host of icons appear, and like for example, add an activity or resource, which we'll get to in just a bit. You might see a pencil icon, throughout the page, and different things. Yeah, are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Right. So I want you to go to the left column and scroll down just a little bit, and you would see add a block at the bottom of the left column, right here.
That's one thing that I have not seen, to add a block.
Right. Are you seeing it in, did you pull your left column?
Yes, I'm looking at the left column. That's the one that starts with participants. And I go down to Content Bank, my courses, and I have FIS 6295, etc., my course. But I'm not seeing add a block at all.
Oh, you're not seeing add a block at all?
I'm not seeing
anyone
that.
Else? Anyone else?
But have you...
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Vito.
go ahead.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
saying that if she has put the editing on, because I was not seeing it when I started, when I clicked on put the editing on, then I see it.
Definitely. So make sure
click on the turn editing on. And on this side,
Indra, are you seeing the add an activity, resource, and so on anywhere in your page?
All those things I'm seeing.
Right, and you're still not seeing add a block. I know it's there. It's just a
CHSCT 2020. That's something strange. I'm not seeing add a block at all.
Okay, scroll to the top of the course.
Yeah, the middle column you're talking, right?
No. It's supposed to be on the left side.
Right. So, okay, the one on the left, yes, I have that. And my course is on the top. Then I see participants, grades, etc.
Right, and then you would see.
Down. Then I see my courses. And after my courses, I see my course, the FIS 695. And after that, nothing.
And the course that you're seeing under my courses, is that the same course you're in?
That's the course that I have, yes. And then I go down and see all the other older courses from last semester.
Right.
But the last thing on that block is T110LLSCT 2020, and I have no idea what that is.
All right, that's okay. That's okay. Dana, you're having the same problem,
but I think go ahead.
Okay. And you sure? Okay, go back to your dashboard. Let's try it one more.
I'm seeing mine. I'm seeing under my courses, and I have where you see in BL something there. I have my FIS 6295, and underneath I'm seeing all the other courses that I had last semester before, but there is nothing at a block.
Okay, I think LaDonna had the same problem, but she said she's no. Even if it's in a test course, LaDonna, you should, like, this is a test course here, and so you should see that as well. Yeah, what you can do, Indra, you could probably scroll down just a little further and see if it's anywhere on your page. No? All right, well, we'll have to look into.
After the course that I'm going to have in 2021, after that course, I'm seeing all the older courses. And then the last thing there is the T11LLCT 2020, but there is no other block.
All right, very quickly, click on that course that you see, that you the
last one?
The one that the current one that you have for 2020.
Yeah, I just did.
Right, and that should take you to, within your course if you didn't have it there before. Good.
Yeah, I'm in the course.
And what are you seeing now?
This one is not. Well, the same thing. All my courses are coming up. That's the problem. And nothing like add a block.
Right.
But Justin, I don't think we should waste more time on this. I think I'll
turn
editing on its own.
Turn editing on its own. Okay. All right. Well, we'll look into it and I'll try to assist you. All right. So for everyone.
Now coming. I have not seen
it. That's no problem. So you click.
I turned editing on before, so I've seen add a block. So please continue.
Okay, no problem. So you click on add a block, and you would see a block appear with a bunch of different things.
Right.
Now these are different things that you can add in your course. What I need you to do very quickly, click on calendar. Two things I want you to add to your course. The calendar. So you click on calendar first. And notice the calendar is added on the right column. Yeah?
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to do the process again. You click on, remember we need to, now first, let me back up for everyone looking on as well. You enter your course, you click on your course title to enter your course. Then the first thing you want to click after that is turn editing on, right? That will give you all the pencils and edit icons and so on. It will also give you on the left column, add a block, right? To add a block, and when I say add a block like a utility, so to speak, you click on add a block and then you click on the particular thing that you like. So in this case, you should have the bare minimum you want to have is your course calendar, because remember it's a remote course. So the calendar will come in handy for students as they pace their time, pace themselves and manage their times to meet certain deadlines and so on. The next thing that will help them in this regard is latest announcements. So you scroll down the list until you see latest announcements. It's in alphabetical order. And you just click on latest announcements and it appears on the right side of the course.
Mm-hmm.
The right column. Was everyone able to do that?
Yeah.
No, I digress here. I was really going to show you something else, but I'm just, because I think this is something that is important because your courses are remote, 100% online now. Yeah?
Dr. Justin.
Yes.
I was not able to get into the calendar.
You were not able to get the calendar. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's do the process again.
I think it's sometimes you just have to scroll across to the right and you'll see it, and down.
Yeah. Did you go through the process?
Yeah. Well, not me. But I too wasn't seeing it. That's why I'm making the comment, Justin, because I wasn't seeing it initially, but just once I scrolled down and to the right, I got it. So it could be that.
I'll show it one more time. Let me just remove the calendar. I'm just going to remove it just to show you what the process is, right? So you turn editing on, everyone, and then you click add a block, and then calendar. And the calendar is usually added on the right side. Now, sometimes you may not see it right, like close to the top, because on some machines you might have it on the right side, Blackboard and MyeLearning Staff Guide, MyeLearning Student. Not so. You might have some things like that on the right side as well. So you might have to scroll down just a little bit to see it, or scroll all the way to the top. Yeah. But it'll be there. All right. Once you added it. So the next thing I want you to do, while we are in editing mode, you see these little four-headed arrows. When you click on these or this, it allows you to drag and move items in your course. So I would recommend that you put the calendar close to the top of the page on the right side. So you click on it and drag it until you get to the top. Yeah? And look, we see, let me just move it there. And it's at the top. right? So as soon as students enter, they see the calendar, the date, and of course all the other information. The due dates and so on that you might have in your course will all appear in this calendar. Yeah? We're going to do it once.
Please.
Sorry?
Could you repeat it again, please?
Sure. So I'm going to do it with a different block. I'll do it with a different block. So let's say I want to move the latest announcement block. I click on the four-headed arrow icon, which is this, and I'm going to drag it to the location, well, basically to where I want it to be. So I'm holding it now. As you would see, it's kind of faded, and I'm moving it just under the calendar, right here. Yeah? And there it is. Did that help?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, great. So that is how you move things around in your course. Now, let's say in a case where you uploaded a lot of documents and you want to move things around in a particular order. That's the same process you'll do. You'll just click on the four-headed arrow. Of course, once editing is turned on, you have to turn editing on. Then you would see the little icons appear where you can shift things around. Okay? So I was recommending that you put at the top right side your calendar and the latest announcements, just under each other. Okay? Now the latest announcements we'll get into just a bit, but it's really for the purposes of, remember, you don't have any sort of face-to-face time with, when I say, well, physical time with your students, or they can't knock on your door to come and get some guidance on a particular thing. So you don't want to have emails, because then you're going to have a series of emails going back and forth, and it could be very messy very quickly, right? So especially if it's a large class. So you want to use the latest announcement, or what we call the course bulletin board, to facilitate that kind of communication. So if you want to announce that a class has been postponed, or a new module is now revealed, then you would want to put that, make that announcement in the class. And we'll get to that in just a bit. So what I'm going to ask you to do, which is really why I came here at this point, was for you to update your profile. Now you need to update your profile, because remember, your students will have no idea of who you are. Now you're not going to put in personal information. I'm not going to ask you to do that. But I'm going to show you exactly what to do, at least to have a footprint on the platform. And more so just to set that, I think Geeta mentioned, along with Alicia, to set that comfortable learning environment. Yeah? And one of the first ways you do that is creating a profile, or putting a name to your face. A face to your name, sorry. All right? Among other things. So when you click on this arrowhead at just basically next to your name, it's a drop-down menu, and you're going to click Profile. So you click on that arrowhead and you click Profile. And that will take you to your profile page. All right? And it's not, you don't have too many bells and whistles, but it's still very, of course, it's within an academic environment, right? So, but you still want to make sure you have an identity in MyeLearning, so at least it makes it easier to build that rapport with your students. So you would see Edit Profile close to the middle of the page, right here. Edit Profile, click on Edit Profile, and it will take you to this page. Now you're not going to change too much in this page, right? You don't want to change your name and all these different things, because what will happen is you're going to get lost in MyeLearning, and we won't really be able to we tend to delete any outliers. We live in an age where, right? No, not at all, Amina. That's actually an old picture, but yeah, I guess I was in a zone at the time. But yeah, so what I need you to do is scroll all the way down to the description box. Scroll to the description box, and you're going to type in just a 2-line or 2 sentences about yourself. Just give a little blurb. Now, this more specifically, you might want to put things such as your field or specialization. Yeah. And even if you want to put some of the courses you teach, you don't have to put that part, but you could definitely put your area of specialization. So, yeah. Yes, Gita. Well, actually, that comes in a little lower down, but I'll show you where yeah, I put eating just for, yeah. So give a little blurb about yourself. Just a 2-sentence kind of thing. It doesn't have to be a very long thing. And for those of you looking on, remember the process is at the top of the page, you click on, you can even click on your name if you want, but you're going to click on that arrow, then click on profile, then edit profile, and then you scroll to the... I don't have edit. What's that?
Sorry, I don't have edit profile here.
Okay, what page are you?
I have edit settings, filters, gradebook, backup.
Okay, let me go back. So are you on a page that looks something like this?
Let me see. Just a second. Yes.
Right. You would see under user details, edit profile.
Edit profile, okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can see it. I see edit, but edit section is one, and another one, edit setting.
No, I think you're on the wrong page. Remember you, okay, so here's what. Go to, are you looking at my screen?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay, so look at what I'm going to do. So let's say you're in your course homepage. I'll go back to my homepage. Go to your course homepage.
Just a second.
Sure. Yeah?
Let me see. His internet is very slow.
Oh, yeah, it happens, it happens. So for those of you who are typing in your a little blurb about yourself, I want you to scroll just right underneath that box. You will see a box with a blue arrow. And I want you to click on that arrow, and I'll come back to you just now. Click on that arrow, and it will prompt you to upload a profile picture. You might have a picture that you think is decent enough to post, or to give yourself a profile picture or an identity on the platform. Go ahead and upload that picture by clicking on the blue arrow, and then clicking choose file. All right, so Doc, are you on this page? On a page that looks like this?
I still can't find edit profile still.
Right, so no, but I'm asking, are you on your course homepage right now?
Yes.
Right. So are you seeing your name at the top of the page? Top right side.
My name?
Yes, in your course.
The course name?
No, your name.
No, I don't see my name here at all.
At the top right side, under the blue strip.
So top right side, yes, yeah. I see my name.
Right, click on that. And what do you see? It should be a drop-down menu.
Dashboard, profile, grace, messages.
Right. Click on profile. Click on profile.
Yes.
And what do you see now?
The screen says user details such as email address, privacy, and policy.
So good. Under user details, you should see edit profile.
Under what?
Under user details, you should see edit profile.
Yes, edit profile. Yes, I see it.
Right. Click on edit profile.
Yes.
And then you would see something that says general, username, etc., etc.
Yes.
Right. Scroll down a little bit until you see a description box.
Yes.
That's like, right. And I want you to type in that description box a little bit about yourself, what's your profession.
No problem. All right.
And that. For those of you, I was saying that you want the others who may have typed a blurb already, you can click on this blue arrow, all right? And it will pop up. It's almost like you're gonna add an email attachment, all right? You click on choose file, and it will ask you to, it'll prompt you to locate wherever you stored that picture that you wanna use, all right? You click on open, normally a file will be there, and then you click upload this file. All right? So I'll show you that process again. And Doc, you could let me know when you finish with the typing.
Yes, I have finished. I have finished writing something about myself.
Right. So you scroll down a little bit, and you should see a box with a blue arrow in it. And you click on that blue arrow.
There is something that says user picture.
Yes. So when you click on that, blue arrow, click on the blue arrow, and a box like this will appear. It'll say file picker and that sort of thing, and you would see choose file.
Click in the blue arrow,
The blue arrow, not the blue column.
No,
so if you look at my screen, so remember you just typed the description, then under user. Are you hearing?
I don't have that. I don't have that.
So when you type your description here,
yes,
and you scroll down just below that, you would see user picture.
Yes.
Right. And under user picture, you should see a blue arrow, a box with a blue arrow.
Yeah, there is a box, but there is a file. It says file.
It says file?
It says file. It says maximum file size, maximum number of files.
Right, but are you seeing the blue arrow?
But there is no arrow in it.
Okay, that's no problem. Well, in that case, click add file. So you would see just that little thing where you have files there. Click on that.
Yeah.
And it will ask you to choose a file.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it. You can drag and drop file here to add them.
Yes.
What I have to do is click in it.
So you have to choose a file. Let's a profile picture that you would like to use.
Okay, I don't have any.
All right, but eventually when you get your picture, when you get that picture, this is the process you're gonna follow to do so, right?
All right, thank you.
All right, great. So you could, if you on this page, you could just exit the pop-up window and proceed to interests. Everyone, so you should be on interests now. Right. Now here is where you're going to put almost like hashtags of the things that you like or your specialization, whatever that might be. So for me, I could put eating since I had that in my thing. And anytime you put you want to make it a hashtag, just once you've typed it, you click enter and it's added to your list. Right? So go ahead and type any, you know, and do it one at a time. So if it's like music, then you click enter and it's added. If you click higher education, type it in and then click enter. All right, so you could type just you know, one or two things and then enter, add to the list, and then you scroll down and click update profile.
Justin, I have 2 questions, please.
Sure.
Hi.
Go ahead, Maria.
First one is more like a statement, a question. This what we're creating here is similar to what is available on LinkedIn profile.
It's similar, yes. It's almost like it's almost like a professional profile you're creating in Trinity. Yeah.
And the second one, this entire process is not absolute. You can choose to do it. You don't have to do it.
I would recommend you do it, especially where your course is now remote. Yeah. You wouldn't be seeing your students face to face, so, and they wouldn't be seeing you. So this is where you want to create this. Remember we spoke about the social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. This is where it's part and parcel of that. All right. Now, with regard to the details you give, that is up to you. You don't have to go as detailed. I just do it because every time I do this session, I have to add an interest. You know what I mean? So it just kind of.
No, I definitely understand the importance of it, but you know, it may be a little bit much for some people. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So once we're done with that, we click update profile. Now, the reason added to the fact that you want to create your identity in the environment and help create that social presence, you're also doing this for students who may be seeking some sort of academic advising and mentorship. Students may be looking to, let's say for example, students might be desirous of applying for a graduate program or graduate, degree. And so they would like having an idea of what where your expertise lie allows them to align with that. So if, for example, I know Gita is a specialist in her field, and if I'm doing a master's or a doctorate in her field, then I can go to her for academic advising. Yeah. If someone is desirous of, even in my context, might be interested in educational technology, then that student can seeing my profile alone would give that student an idea of who to go to for academic advising and mentorship. Yeah. So that's an added part of it. And then, of course, it helps to create what we call a community of learners. So it opens that door for not just open communication, but a healthier rapport between students and faculty. Because many students actually have their profiles, MyeLearning profiles updated, but faculty kind of falling behind. So it's to bring us up to par. All right. So far, so good, guys. Great. So what I need you to do is go back to your course, and you should see it in My Courses. You could just click on that. All right. So far we looked at a couple different things. We looked at tweaking the course navigation and layout just to make it easier for your students and to kind of tweak where things are located in your course. And we really just created the environment for students to navigate through your course, right? That's what that was about, even including your profile, your calendar, inserting your calendar, and so on. All right, so far so good. The next thing we're going to look at would be the communication tools in MyeLearning. All right, before we get to content and so on, the communication tools. Now, there are different ways of avenues to communicate with your students in MyeLearning. You have one-to-one communication, one-to-many communication. Let me just go to my PowerPoint. So we just did all of this, right? We updated our profile and so on. All right. And now we're moving to communication tools. And these are different ways, and there are different ways in which you could communicate with your students. For one sec. All right. So for one, you can do it through the message block, the messaging block or tool, which allows you to communicate with students one-to-one or one-to-many. And I'll show you how to do that in just a sec. And there's also the news forum. Remember, we just added the latest news block, right? So there are multiple ways you can add to the news forum. All right. Now, both platforms, one allows for one-to-many or one-to-many as in the whole class, one-to-a-few, which is like from you to just a few students, and then one-to-one with, let's say, a student who has not been performing well, or is not really actively involved. You want to reach out to that student. All right. Now we're gonna do a little activity and actually build that course forum, that news forum. We started building it already with the news forum. All right. And now we're gonna add a post to it. All right. Now this post might be, let's say, for example, a welcome note for those of you who might be in your live courses. This would also be important. Okay. So we added the latest announcements block in your course homepage. What you're going to do now is click on Add a New Topic. Add a new topic. And it will take you to a page that looks something like this. Yeah? Let me know when you get to this page. Are you there? Okay, great. So the first thing you want to do on this page is add a topic to your post. In this case, we're going to put welcome. All right? You're basically leaving a little welcome note for your students. And in the message block, you're going to insert, just type a very brief message welcoming students to your course. All right. At this point, you would also want to state what are the days for your office hours, because you can have virtual office hours, which we look at in Blackboard. And you can also have the normal lecture times. All right. All right. Oh, Rodolfo's having connection problems. Rodolfo, if you can hear me, keep trying. We also have the recording that will be made available to you. All right?
Yes, to you, but the video is flashing and go down. But I'm following you by the speech.
All right, great. And you can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, very well.
Great. So we insert our little welcome note there. Let's say 3 to 5 p.m. Just giving a random thing. Right. And so you would see here, you typed, you gave a little welcome note. It doesn't have to be anything too elaborate, just a quick little welcome note. Welcome to the course. Introduce yourself as the facilitator of the course. What lectures will be from every Friday 1 to 4. Your office hours are, and of course you customize it to your liking. All right. Once you scroll down, you don't need to add anything. If you want, I don't think you need to add a graphic or a document at this point in time. It's just a welcome note. If you would like this message to, let me back up a little bit. Now, when you click post to forum, students will automatically get a copy of it here, as well as their emails, their student emails. All right, which some of them sometimes sync with their personal emails. So they get multiple avenues to receive any sort of announcements that you post in the class, which is why I was saying it's so important to set up a news forum or latest announcements forum. Yeah. Now, if you click on this second icon, the second box here, send forum post notifications with no editing time delay, then what happens is it's going to send one time immediately. Right? If I don't tick it, then it gives me a 30-minute window to edit the post, for example, if there are any grammatical errors. So we click post to forum, and you see, as I said, you have 30 minutes to edit if you want to make any changes. All right? And there we have it at the bottom here. Okay, any questions on that so far? We're all good? I find you quiet, man.
We're fine. We're fine.
Okay, great.
Friday afternoon, Justin.
Okay, what's that, Dendra?
Friday afternoon. Feeling sleepy.
Oh. Yes. All right. So good. So you have your welcome note or announcement, right? So great. Now let me just say this goes to all the students in your course, and like I said, it goes to their email addresses and so on. So you don't have to worry about who will see it. Once students access their MyeLearning course site or their student emails, or if they sync their students' emails with their personal emails, they're going to get it one way or the other. Yeah. And you see how useful this will be. Let's say if you have a class that was postponed and you need to let students know, right, in advance. Now, if you want, now I'll show you that after, but so let's go back to our course homepage using the breadcrumbs. Now the breadcrumbs are these little links we see at the top here. You know the story of Hansel and Gretel? And you know what they did to find their way out of the forest? They left a trail of breadcrumbs. And that's where this came from. Well, that concept came from. So you click on the course code to get back to your course homepage. Now, when I was growing up, I heard it was, I always thought it was jelly beans instead of breadcrumbs, but that is a different story, I guess. I don't know where I heard that from, but I thought it was, I didn't think breadcrumbs would be easy to find in a forest anyways. Maybe that was the thinking of it. But so we move on. So, so the next thing now we're going to look at would be, so far, before we move any further, any questions?
No.
Okay, great. So far, so good. Now I'm going to show you very quickly. Does anyone have groups in your course? Jelly beans, yes, Alicia. I don't know where I heard that from. I don't know how I felt that, how I thought that all along.
Yeah,
all right.
I have groups in my course.
You have groups in your course as well. Okay, great. So I'm going to show you how to create groups because we just looked at, let me just recap a little bit. We looked at the communication avenues. We looked at updating your profile. We looked at editing your course layout. I'm going to show you groups now. We looked at, accessing your course. We looked at tweaking your courses so they're easier to find. And now I'm going to go into creating groups. Now, Patricia, do you have, do you do the project-based learning and so on in your courses as well, or no?
Do team-based learning.
Right. So this would be a great use to you. Have you ever used groups in MyeLearning?
No.
Okay, so you definitely need this, right?
But I need it now.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. So from your course homepage, you're gonna go to participants. That's on the left side. And you would see here, you have all the persons. Let me go to a course that I have more people in. You're going to see all the participants you have in your particular course. All right. Now, this is a good place to see when students have last accessed your course, if they are functional in your course, if they are lagging behind, that sort of thing. All right. Now, before I go into groups, I'm just going to show you how to contact a student who has not attended your course or who has never logged into your course. Now, if a student is not here, it means, and you would normally have a list from Banner, of course. But if you do not see the student's name here, then it means that the student has not accessed your MyeLearning course, which might hint to a financial hold issue. So just letting you know how to translate that, and you could take the necessary action, okay? So if you need to reach out to one or two students, you would want to just, tick any one of them, and you scroll all the way down, and it goes to send a message. At which point you could type your message and send it to them. For example, hello, I noticed you have not accessed the course in a while. Is everything okay? And again, you're doing this because these are things that you need to do when you're doing a remote course, right? And you just click send, and it goes to them. All right? So I know I just glossed through that, but it's just something I think you need to know in the event that you don't want to reach out to all students. You might just want to send a message to a few. All right? And if you wanted to select all of them, you just click on the top here, and that's it. And the messages go straight to their emails as well. So they see it there as well. Okay, so once we've done that, so that's the messaging tool. The next thing is adding groups. Now groups, it's very simple. You click on this little blue gear icon up here. All right, click on it, and it will take you to groups. Well, you would see in the menu, groups. Click on groups, and it will take you to a page like this. So far, so good, Patricia? Oh, I'm seeing Rodolfo said he created groups in every course. Right, right.
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Okay, great. So the first thing you want to do is create a group. So you scroll down and click Create Groups. And it's very, very, very simple. You give the group a name. So you might give the group a generic name like Group A, Group B, Group, or you might give the group a name based on a particular topic.
Justin?
Yes?
When I clicked on, so by the course, right, where you have the names and so at the top, there's roles and groups, right? When I click on groups, I'm not getting what you are getting.
All right, let me go back a little bit.
Please.
So you went from participants.
Yes, I have the participants list.
Right. You scroll up.
Okay.
And you will see a blue gear icon.
Scroll up from participants.
Yes, at the top of the participants page.
Right. I have that. So there's roles and groups. I don't know if I'm looking at the same thing as you.
Roles and groups. Okay, look at my page.
Let me look again. Yeah, just one moment. Right. So.
Right. And then I click groups. Right here. Right?
No.
No, you didn't see that.
Not seeing it on my screen.
So go click on participants on the left side of your page.
Yes, I did that.
Right.
Then I see my course on the right, on the middle block there. And
no,
then yeah, just like how you have their virtual learning and introduction, etc. And below that you have participants.
Okay.
Right.
And you click on the blue icon next, just basically on the right side.
I got it now. Yes.
Right.
And then I see groups. Yeah.
Right. Click on groups.
Yeah, I was actually looking for the word groups, which I was seeing in yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then you scroll down and you click Create Group.
Okay.
When you click Create Group, it will take you to a page like this. And I was saying that you can either give it a generic name, such as Group 1, Group 2, or Group A, Group B, or you might give it a topic-specific name. I'm not sure if, Patricia, which way do you do it, Patricia?
I think I just use perhaps numbers.
Okay, good. So it makes it even easier for you. So you can call them Group 1 or well, in my case, I have a couple of groups in here. So let's say I'm going to give one called group. I'm trying to think of a letter that I did not use already. Let's say Group L. Right? In your case, you could say Group 2, Group, I wonder if I have Group 8. Let's say Group 8. And you scroll all the way down and click Save Changes. It's that simple. All right?
I've used this now that you're telling me. I think I've done this before.
Right. That's what I was asking earlier. I think I remember, but things we tend to forget sometimes. So so you would see your group at the in the groups list. Let's create another group for practice sake. So scroll down and click Create Group again. And we can give the group name again, Group 9.
Then group
and scroll down and click Save Changes. All right.
Justin, how do you assign people to the groups, though? That I think is
That's the next step. I'm just waiting to get confirmation that we all created the groups.
Okay.
So once we have our groups, you click on a particular group that you want to add persons to now. And you're going to see just at the bottom of the column on the right side, add or remove users. So you click on that. And it's going to take you to a page with a dual column. All right. Now, in a large course, let's say you have more than 100 students in a course like this one, you're not going to see the names displayed here. All right. But normally when it's less than 100, all the names, student names will be here on the right column, and you can just click and add them to the group. So let me show you the process. Let's say I wanted to add, let me see if I can find it. I didn't really check the names for this particular thing. No. Let's say Omar. Right? I have Omar, and look, his name appears here. So I click on Omar's name and I add him to this group. I click add and add him to this group. Likewise, if I wanted to add someone else, all right, I click on the person's name and to that group. Now, sometimes you might have a whole list of persons here, like you don't have to search, in which case you can click multiple persons and do a bulk add. Because I have so many persons in my course, you're not going to see that here, right? But you get the gist of it, yeah?
Justin, is there a faster way? Because if you have to do it for the class of 60, and
right?
Do we have to do it? This seems a bit painstaking.
Right, that's what I was just saying. If you have a class of less than 100 persons, you're going to see all of the names appear on the right side, in the right column. And in that case, you can just highlight the names, just a Control Shift, or like what you would do in a Word document, and you move them across instead of one by one. Yeah?
But Justin, I have a list of all my students, and I'm really assigning them in groups based on their academic performance in a previous class. Right. And I want all bright students in the same group. So I think I'm going to be doing that manually, and then I will assign them to groups using what you're showing me here. I'm assuming I can do that.
Yeah, yes, you can. Now, there's also a way, it could be a bit tedious, but in the sense that if you have an Excel spreadsheet, it allows for that at the bottom here. Import groups or auto create groups, yeah. But that would be a little more. It's another way of doing it. So if I click auto create groups, it's a random assignment of groups. If I wanted to import groups, then I would choose the file. Let's say you have a file and it will choose from that particular file. Let's say like a CSV or an Excel, a version of an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll probably do that, what you're showing.
Yeah. Right? Does that help?
I'm putting them in groups because I want to test them as a group.
Yeah, definitely.
So test individually initially. Then I'm going to do a team test.
Right.
But I mean, can I do that?
Yeah. Now the reason I'm showing you it now is because when you create your activities, you can put activities either as individual tasks or group tasks. Yeah. So that you're definitely on the right track, Patricia. Yeah. So, and we're getting into that in just a bit. So that's more or less it for groups. Any questions on groups again? And you can always tell when you have when someone is in more than one group, if you happen to make a mistake. If I were to go in group H, let me see, let me find another one. I think I created a group called Big Bird. Where is it? Okay. Right, Big Bird. We have 3 persons here, but I think we have, let me just see. No, it's not here. Okay. Well, normally it's there. But anyway, so each group that you create, it shows you how many students you have in that particular group. All right.
Big Bird is there. I'm seeing it with 3.
Yeah, I'm seeing Big Bird, but I'm not seeing what I was looking for.
Okay.
But it would normally show you how many groups that puts. If you added more than one student to, sorry, if you added one student to 2 groups instead of 1. All right, I probably fixed it, but let me just go to show you where you can tweak it. Now, you don't always have to go through that process to tweak it. But if I go back to my participants page, look at what I have here. Groups, right? And I have group A, group C, tutorial group. So let's say Frida is in multiple groups and I don't want that. So I will simply click on this editing icon. And I could really assign Frida to tutorial group 1. All right, then I just click save and that's it. If I wanted to assign Eric to 1 group, because remember I created my groups already, so this is another way of doing it. I could put Eric in Big Bird and then just save. And he's in Big Bird. All right, so that's another way of doing it if you want to tweak the groups. All right, and I think for Patricia that might come in handy for you. So let's say when you do the individual test and the group test and you want to now put them into groups thereafter, you could create your groups in advance, and then from here you could assign them into different groups. And it's just another way of doing it. All right, so great, Keita is on point with that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, guys, is let me go back to my page here. I'm going to use my breadcrumbs and go back to my course homepage. All right. And now I'm going to show you how to upload content. Now your center, and this is where we move to the center column. The center column is where you want to put, is where all your, lecture notes, your videos, your files, Excel spreadsheets, your graphics, your, case studies and so on, they're all going to be in the center column. So once editing is turned on, remember that's at the top right side, you're going to click add an up. Now there are different ways to upload content. I'm just going to show you the faster way, and the more efficient way. All right, is that okay? So let's say I wanted to add, I have a folder and I want to add a couple documents from that folder into my course, right? All I have to do is put the 2 windows side by side. And it doesn't have to be necessarily side by side like uniformed, but you can minimize both the MyeLearning window and your window with the folder with the information. You can minimize them, not minimize them as in hide them, but just, they don't have to be full screen. All right. And you highlight the topics that you would like to, or the documents, sorry, that you would like to include in your course. So let me find some documents here. All right. And so I'm going to drag them from, just as you drag different blocks in MyeLearning, I'm going to drag the elements I highlight, the documents I highlighted in my folder, via flash drive or whatnot. And look at what's going to happen here. Look at my MyeLearning page. Do you see under topic 2, you would see add files here? Are you seeing that? You wouldn't see the folder I'm dragging it from because it's only showing this particular window. But I'm dragging it from a particular window with my folder with all the stuff. And just before I release it, you're going to see add files here. Right? And when I release it, so you see they're all being added one time. So you don't have to go through the long process of adding one by one. And, that could be a very tedious thing. So this works, for example, if you have like a flash drive with different folders but with content in your on that, you can move it from your flash drive into your MyeLearning site, course site. Yeah? Any questions on that? Now,
Yes.
remember, go ahead.
Yes. Justin, I would like
I have
an
one.
explanation of that.
All right, Alicia, let me hear you first, and then...
For example, from the USB, how am I uploading all those files to the topic 2, for example?
Right. I didn't hear what you...
Yes?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. My question is, for adding, when you add in, go to adding a resource, what is your preference, page, file, or folder? Because I know when you put this one, can appear the option, different options.
Good question.
But what is your preference? Because sometimes when you add something so with different folder or file, may difficult for the students. But when you display it, you show all the information at the same time. What do you prefer?
Oh, so you're talking about the availability of the information to students.
The information.
Yeah, I think
that you put in every topic.
But I would prefer that you incrementally reveal it to students. Yeah, not all at once. So you have it all there, but you can hide
all
it.
Information.
Yeah, you can put all the information, but incrementally, like bit by bit. Let's say when you get to that module, you reveal the information in that module. So for example, and that's a good question you raised. So if I wanted to hide some of the content from students, then I simply, once editing is turned on, I click on edit and I can hide it. So you would notice it's grayed out, so students would not be able to see it. Now a more efficient way to do that would be to hide the entire block. So let's say if I had, let me just create a scenario for you here. Let's say if I had topic 1, I had content in topic 1 and content in topic 2. All right? To answer your question. And I'm really on topic 1 or module 1. So I would therefore hide topic 2 until I'm ready to access it. Yeah?
Then, in terms of the information, you prefer folder or file?
Good question as well. I would prefer, it depends on the amount of information you have. If you have a whole bunch of files like these, then I would recommend you create a folder or web page and put it there. If it's just 3 or 4 things, then I think you can leave it as like how I have it here.
Like a file. Yes. Thank you so much.
No problem. And guys, let me just show you very quickly how to create a file. All right. You click add an activity or resource. All right. And this will open up this particular pop-up window, so to speak. You click on folder. All right. Folder. It's in alphabetical order. So you would notice, it goes like that, right? So you click on folder, a folder appears. And let's say I want to call this module 1 reading resources. All right. I don't have to give a description. I could leave that, as is. And then I can drag and drop the content in here instead. So let me just drag it from my folder. You're not going to see my folder because it's a separate window, but I'll drag it in here. So you see it's there. And then I save and return to course. Fairly simple, right? Now look at what happens here. So instead of having all of these, I could just create a block. I could delete these actually. All right, let me just move on to the other block. And so students will only see this, and when they click on it, the files are inside here. And they can download the entire folder if they need to. They wouldn't be able to edit it. You will be able to edit it because you are the teacher of the course, but they wouldn't. All right? Any other questions? And thank you so much for that as well. Yeah? Rodolfo, sorry.
Justin.
Yes?
Yes, okay, okay.
As I said, you can drag any type of file. It doesn't matter it is a PDF or it is a Word file, anything like that. You can drag any file.
Excellent question. So you can add almost any kind of file. I would say almost. All right. And these files include an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint, a Word document, a PDF, an image even. So I know for example in medical sciences and sometimes engineering, they have a lot of graphics or images that you might want to include. You can upload them there as well.
Thank you.
The different
and videos. You know, I see Indira just placed videos. Yes, you can upload videos as well. Now, with videos, because videos could take up a little more space in your course, I would recommend that you use hyperlinks. So if it's a YouTube video, you can embed the video, or you can just copy the link, and I'll show you how to add a link in a couple seconds. Yes, Elizabeth?
Hi, let's say you've already uploaded several files onto your page and you've changed your mind and you would like to combine them all into one folder. Is there a shortcut to doing that?
Right. You would do, you'll probably have to go through the same process. Well, the shortcut would be, there's a shortcut, but I don't think it's a shortcut.
Okay.
In the sense that, let's say, for example, let me edit this for, to make an example of it, right? Now, even though you have your folder, your files here, MyeLearning keeps a record of anything that you uploaded on the system. So if it is you don't have your flash drive with you, all right, you just click, sorry, let me show you where I click. You click on the folder here, on the add a file icon, sorry, and you can go to recent files. Recent files will show, so you see some of the things I just uploaded?
Yeah.
Along with other things.
Okay.
Right? And I can pull from there and add to, so let's say I want to add this one, select file, and see it's added there. So the shortcut meaning that, let's say if you don't, I would say convenience, not so much a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have your flash drive with the file that you previously uploaded, you have a record of it in MyeLearning. So MyeLearning functions as a sort of backup for you, backup of your files. Yes?
Okay.
I still find, however, that the drag and drop feature, because that's what I did to put it in my folder, to put it in this particular folder, I just dragged it from my, whatever folder I had it in on my flash drive and placed it into here. Yeah?
Okay. That works. Thank you.
Indira, I'll show the link in just a bit. Alicia, is there an upload limit? Yes, there is. All right. Now, in some cases, I think the upload limit is currently 50 to 80 megabits. I may be wrong, but I think it's within that vicinity. If, however, you have a course that requires more space, then you would need to send an email to service desk. I'll put it in the chat. Service desk at sta.uwi.edu. All right. And you just ask them that, listen, my course is so, and you request additional space to facilitate X, Y, and Z. Is that okay? Yeah? So that is what you would do in terms of the upload limit per course. Great, no problem. Yes, Rodolfo, and that's what I was going to show when Indira asked that. So I was saying earlier that I would recommend that you use a link, whether it's a YouTube link or even a link from your Google Drive. You might have a Google Drive or Dropbox. You know, when you want to share a document, you can just use a link. Now to add a link, let me go to this one. You click on add an activity or resource. Add an activity or resource. And you're going to click URL. That's in the last row, URL. Click on URL. And you're going to give it a name. Let's say I want to call this blended learning. So in other words, you're going to give, it's like you're giving a title to what the video is about. All right? So you give it a name. And what I want you to do now is go on YouTube. You can open another tab or another page, go on YouTube and find a video that you would like to incorporate in your course. So for me, I would like to use this particular video. So I'll give you a couple of seconds just to go on YouTube and find a video that you'd like to use. And of course, you can always hide it, change it, delete it. All right. You're going to go and copy the link when you put on that video. So for example, this is the video that I like. All right. I'm going to copy this link, the URL at the top. And then I'm going to go back to my MyeLearning course. Right? And then I paste the link that I just copied inside here. Once you've done that, you scroll down, similar to as simple as you created groups, you click save and return to course. And look at what's added, yeah? So this is the link. And if I click on it, it takes the student to the page
Learning is a way of teaching that
where they can view the video. Any questions on that so far? No,
yes, Justin, just go through the process again, just
okay.
Just for a while.
All right, let me delete this. So to add a resource, so to add a link, a URL, I click on add an activity, or maybe someone could go through the steps and I will just illustrate. So Rodolfo, would you go through the steps and direct me, and we'll all, so everyone else could follow through? So go ahead, Rodolfo.
Go through the steps, yes.
Yes.
Yes, go through the steps.
Oh, Rodolfo, no? Oh, sorry. All right, I'll do it. So add an activity or resource. All right, this pop-up window will appear. But I'm seeing, choose a link where you typed in the link. No, I didn't type in the link. I'll show you again. So look at it in Diro. So you click on add an activity or resource. This page will appear here. You click on URL. That's at the bottom here. It's in the final. Good. And then you want to click on in the name field and give it a title. In this case, I'm going to call it blended learning. All right. So far so good. Good. So what I was saying is that you want to find your video, and you could probably find your video before you start this aspect of it. But I figured so, Rodolfo, no problem. You find the video, let's say on YouTube, whatever video you want to look at. So we see here, this is my video, right?
To create a more personalized learning environment.
Right? So I want to just copy the link, the URL at the top of the page, as we see up here. Copy this link. And then I'm going to go back to my e-learning and paste the link inside here.
Is there any restriction in the size of the YouTube file?
No, because it's just like the URL you're using. So it's not really stored in the course. It's just a link to an external site.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you copy and paste your link. It's in here now. And then you just scroll down and click Save and return to course.
Justin, could you go back to the previous page? Because what I was asking you is on the right of that, where there's external URL, on the right, if it is choose a link. So my question is, could I have alternatively clicked on choose a link? Maybe that would have taken that. Where would that take me?
It'll open up another tab or another page for you to search. So for example, you would see this, I just clicked on it for you, and you would see URL downloader, and then you just paste the URL in there. It's just it's the same thing, but I find it a little, longer than
regardless of which option I use. Basically, I have to go on the YouTube, I have to copy the URL, and I have to come back and paste it. So
exactly.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that click a link would have taken me maybe to Google or something that would allow me to find it. But you've explained. Thank you.
Yeah, in the old version of MyeLearning, it would take you to a Google page.
Okay.
But in this updated version, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
All right.
Just
no problem.
Thanks.
I was going to say, yes, so you simply have that and you save and return to course. Now there's another feature that I want to show you very quickly, which is to embed a video. Right? Right, and that's if it because it's a YouTube thing, right? Gita, that is. So the next thing is you can embed a video into your MyeLearning site. Now to do that, I want you to go back to the video that you found in YouTube. Go back to the video in YouTube. And you scroll down just a little bit, not too far. And you would see just under the video, you see share right here. Share. So you click on share. And it would take you to this little pop-up window, so to speak. Right? When you see this window here, you're not going to click copy yet. You're going to click embed. Embed. And it will take you to a little thing like this. At this point, now there are two things I want to highlight here. It's for those of you who are a little more tech savvy, if you want the video to start playing from a particular time frame, then you can pause it at that particular time, and you would see here start at 13 seconds, for example, and I can enable that. If not, I can leave that unticked. All right? So anyways, I want you to click copy. So has everyone seen a page like this? No? Right. Then you click copy. And now you're going to go back to your MyeLearning course. So you already have what we call the embed code, right? When we get back to our MyeLearning course now, we're going to click on add an activity or resource. So we see it's a similar series of steps. And this time, you're not going to go into URL, you're going to go into label. Label. So click on label. Once you click on label, I want you to click, now listen very carefully. You're going to do two things. I want you to click on the first icon. You could expand the menu, the ribbon menu for you. And then you're going to click on the last icon. All right, so you're clicking on the first and last icon in that menu. If you see any sort of stuff that you can just delete that, it doesn't really serve a purpose. Well, much of a purpose. And then you're going to paste the embed code that you just copied. I think Rodolfo knows where I'm going with this, right? You paste that link, the embed code that you just copied from YouTube. All right? And then you click save and return to course. And look what we have here. The video is embedded into our MyeLearning course. Now, it does not mean that you are plagiarizing or stealing the information, because the owner of the video, the account that it was on, is still credited as we see up here. All right? And then if you so the student can play the video from right within your course, as we see here.
Blended learning is a way of teaching that combines online resources with
And so we could just close this part off. And if we wanted to go and see, if the student wanted to visit the source of the information, then they can simply click on YouTube there at the bottom of that and play, right? Of course, you know, you're going to get a lot of advertisements. That's something that you can't really have that as much, you know?
Justin, could I repeat that process and tell me if I'm correct?
Sure, sure. Or do you want to? So
no,
while
I can't
you
do
say
it. Remember, you'll have to do it, because I remember I'm not I don't have my key, so I
no,
will
I'm
say.
saying while you narrate the process, I'll follow your narration.
Correct. Right.
And
So go
right?
to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Find your video.
Right.
Right. Good. Okay. Find the video. Go down and click here.
Right. Correct.
Right. Click share. Then go back to my MyeLearning. Am I correct? Go back to the board.
Not yet.
Embed.
Right. Embed.
Oh, sorry. Right. Okay, good. Right here. Right. Click embed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then copy.
Correct. Now here I wanted to play it like, let's say 5 seconds within the video. I go click on start at. I would say okay from 5 minutes, whatever. If I don't, then and I click the embed option.
Mm-hmm. Or you copy.
Right.
So you click the embed option, then you copy. Yeah.
Right. Then I copy. Now I go back to my e-learning course. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. Go to add activity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So add activity or resource. Right. Now I click label.
Right.
Then once label opens up, click on the first icon. Click on the first icon on my left.
Right.
Right. Then I click on the last one.
Correct.
Then I go to the box and I paste in there.
Correct.
And then I save it. Go scroll down and.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Look, we have it there. All right.
Thank you.
Great. All right, great. I see Peter. What's the benefit of embed? Okay, good question, Peter. For a couple reasons. One of them would be it enhances the layout of the course. So it's not just text-based and very bland. It allows students to just see, it breaks up the monotony of your course. That's one. All right, and of course that has implications on the brain science. There's a brain science behind that, right? The second thing is that it provides a one-stop shop for everything for the student to access in your course. So the student doesn't have to go and let's say if a student is trying to access your course and the student has a low bandwidth or issues with internet connectivity, it's less pages for the student to load. So it's everything on one page and the student can play it from straight within your course. So it adds a level of convenience, and it makes the remote learning process a lot easier, yeah, for the student especially. All right. Add to that, it facilitates ease of navigation. So I'm hearing an echo. I think the machine is about the machine is about to freeze up a little bit, so just forgive me. I have another machine here, so just in case, all right? Can you still hear me?
Yeah. I have a question. Quick question. When you import the video, it means that the students can see it live from here. They don't have to go to YouTube or download it. It's right here for them. It's available.
Precisely.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to Peter, well, to answer his question. So yes, you're very correct. So it's like a one-stop shop instead of going to different pages, and we know what happens sometimes when they might go to YouTube with the best of intention and then see something that is a little, get distracted, and it helps in focusing the student to things related to your course, as opposed to, when they go externally to YouTube. You have persons who are live, persons who are sharing videos, persons who are, and you have a whole bunch of things that added distraction. So this allows for more focused participation in your course. All right. So we're going to move very quickly into activities, adding an assignment. All right. So to add an assignment, it's the same procedure. We click Add an Activity or Resource. And it's the first icon there. Remember, it's in alphabetical order. So we click on assignment. All right. We click on it. I think my machine is going to freeze. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I think my machine is freezing a little bit, but okay, let me just give me 1 second, okay? Please. All right, I think my Chrome is... Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
My Chrome is froze up a little bit on this particular machine.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen, and I think this is what I was referring to earlier, where you might want to have 2 devices, your session on 2 devices. So for example, you don't have to have 2 computers per se, but you might have a laptop or a desktop on one, and then maybe your phone, right, as a backup. Okay, so we're back in business. So I'm going to show you how to upload, how to create an activity. I'll do it in this block. So we click on add an activity. I think I'm hearing a bit of an echo. Remember to take off your mics if you're not using them. All right, so, and here we click on assignment. Assignment, and that takes us to this page. And you notice how user-friendly or intuitive it seems to be, yeah? So it's the same procedure. You're going to give the assignment a name. Let's call this assignment remote learning. All right. And in the description field, so of course, my hope is that you are creating this on your end, customizing it to your course context. So in the description field, you're going to give the assignment instructions. Now, I'm trying to teach you the little shortcuts here and there, so it'll help you along the way. Now, if you have your assignment instructions in a Word document, then by all means, you can just refer the student in this description, refer to the document, refer the student to that document. So for example, please see the attached document for instructions, right? And in that case, you can scroll down a little bit and drag the document. So let's say I want to drag this document, right? Let's say it's a case study or, you know, something of that nature. You would want to, you know, make that available to the students. And that way the student knows that this document is in particular is related to this assignment. So once they do that, once you do that, you want to set the submission, the time within which students can submit. So you set a window of time. By default, it'll give you a week. So for example, from from today to next week, Friday. If for you, it might be different. You could set it well in advance. So let's say you want to set this assignment for sometime in October. You can do that now. All right. Yes, you can. It'll be the same procedure. So what I would recommend, Andrew, so very good question. Let's say I have, this would be my assignment here. Let's say I have my assignment instructions. Then it would be the same process where I click the first icon and the last icon. And notice my text, please see attached document for instructions and so on. As you see here, I'm highlighting it for you. All right, it's there. And now I can add, let me just embed a video here. So I'm going through the same process. All right. And then I paste it. All right. Can bring that down here. Good. And then we go further down, and I'll show you at the end of it, Andrew, how it'll look. I would not recommend you putting a cutoff date. You can leave the due date as is. Well, you can set it, but do not enable the cutoff date. If students are submitting late, the system will highlight them as a late submission. It will even highlight not just the timestamp, but the extent of their, it'll show you exactly how late they are. If it's 2 days, 3 days, and 4 hours, it'll give you that data as well. All right. Then we scroll down a little bit, and we, under submission types, if it's an online text, that means they are typing in a particular text box, similar to this box up here. an HTML box. Most times it will probably be a file submission, so you can leave it as a file submission. Number of uploads, that can stay as is. All right. And students will be able to reload their assignments until the due date. When the due date and time have passed, they will no longer be able to resubmit. All right. All submissions will be locked. Only those who have outstanding submissions may be able to submit, and they will be counted as late. And then, of course, you can take the necessary, implement the necessary penalties. All right. Yes, Maria?
Regarding the feature for multiple uploads, you sure you want to leave that as multiple uploads? Wouldn't that mean that the student could review their responses and resubmit, similar to cheating?
No, because it will allow them to, like I said just now, they will be able to upload, but not when the due date has passed. But not when the due date has passed. Yeah. So they can't. So let's say, for example, my due date is September 11th. All right. After this due date, students will not be allowed to, those who submitted already, they would not be allowed to resubmit. Yeah.
However, so let me ask, if, for example, if students submitted, so the deadline is the 11th, the person submits on the 8th, but decides to review it, make some changes, they can resubmit. They could resubmit until the due date. Am I correct?
Yes.
Keep resubmitting until the due date. Correct. And once that date hits, then they can no longer do that. Right?
Correct. Correct. Right. So because sometimes a student might submit early and then realize, oh, I messed up the reference list. The formatting wasn't correct, and they might make amendments and then resubmit. Yeah. But when the due date has passed and due date and time have passed, they will no longer be able to resubmit. Yeah. The rest can stay as is. I'm just going to scroll to the feedback types could stay as is. I think we went through submission size already, and that sort of thing. The next thing that we're going to deal with is feedback types. Sorry, not feedback types. We're going to deal with submission settings. All right. Just one second, please. All right, so colleagues, I just apologize for that interruption. So we were on submission settings. All right. In the submission settings, we have here require students to click the submit button. That can stay as no, but you definitely want to ensure that yes, they have to submit a submission statement. Now, the submission statement just ensures that students will be that it's an originality statement, that they are submitting their original work. All right. It's a sort of generic statement, but it says along the same lines of that it's their original work. Now, in group submission settings, if you want it to be a group thing, then by all means, yes. If not, you can leave it as no. In the grade settings, this is where you set the weighting of the assignment, let's say to 10, and I can leave it as is. I can leave the rest as is. If at this point, common module settings, you can determine if it's a group assignment again, if it's something that you want students to see, if groups can see each other's submissions. So for example, if I'm in a group, if Geeta and I are in 2 different groups, then if it's visible groups, then Geeta's group can see what I'm doing in my group, and vice versa. If it's separate groups, then Geeta's group cannot see what I'm doing in my group. Yeah? Alicia said, correct me if I'm wrong, this is for assignments, not exams. Right, correct. Right, like coursework and that kind of thing. Yeah? Now, when exams are being set, that will be a different, if it's final exam, that will be a different set of protocols you might have to follow there. All right, so this is particularly for coursework. Andrew said, but we must ask ourselves what drives this need to resubmit. Definitely. Yeah, so it's not necessarily that you have to, I'm not saying it's mandatory, yeah? I'm just giving you the options. So I'm just stating what's out there. So sometimes you can, you know, it'll be your prerogative, but I'm just stating the pros and cons of both ways. All right, Geeta Turnitin is a different type of assignment in MyeLearning. I wouldn't create one now, but I'll show you in the slideshow. I can show you how to create it, and I'll show you the difference between a Turnitin assignment and a MyeLearning assignment. All right, great. Now let's say, guys, you're creating this from now, and you want to ensure that students do not see the entire, you don't want them to see this assignment at all, not even the instructions, until a particular time. In which case, you will click Add Restriction, right? Or Restrict Access, then Add Restriction, and then click Date. And from here, you can set the date and time accordingly. Now remember, it's a 24-hour clock, so you can set that accordingly. All right. And then once that is done, you click Save and Return to Course. And so we have, go ahead, Indira.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused by what you just responded to Geeta's question about Turnitin. You say Turnitin is different to MyeLearning assignment. Okay, now, right, this using the online platform like this is new to me. In the last semester, for example, when I would have given a midterm assignment, the students were required to put it through Turnitin and submit with the Turnitin reports. Now I am using this online platform to teach my entire course. So my question is, how then does the Turnitin requirement of the university link into this platform and this mechanism for turning assignments in?
It's right. Good question. It's the same thing. I was saying in response to Geeta that that's a different type of assignment in MyeLearning. So just as how you have Blackboard, which I'll show you in just a bit, Turnitin is a different type of assignment. But this one that I just showed you was a more generic type of assignment. So for example, and I was going to show you in my PowerPoint that the differences between the two is that Turnitin is a plagiarism detection platform, right? They both house in MyeLearning, but Turnitin is designed for plagiarism detection. Right? Because of that, it's specifically tailored to text-based assignments. Right? So if your assignment is like an essay, then Turnitin is your way to go. But in some cases, your assignment might include some sort of graphic, a graph, a diagram, or it might even be a video presentation altogether. In that case, you should probably...
Would we use that like a math solution where you have...
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct. Yeah, where you have different characters and, you know, symbols and so on. Definitely.
And
right?
this is why the statement of originality that you have in here, it's kind of like the equivalent of the Turnitin, where you are verifying my original work.
Correct. Okay. You hit the deal on the head. Let me just give you a little I think for that. All right. So yes, definitely. Or Excel sheets. Very good, Alicia. Yes. So like Turnitin wouldn't be the best avenue if it's an Excel sheet or mathematical something or some sort of formulaic assignment, or, you know, and I know like a lot of faculties, particularly like engineering and the natural sciences and so on, may have those things. Whereas, let's say, assignments in the humanities may be, for the most part, essays, right? Or text-based assignments. So in which case, you know, you use one that will suit your particular assignment. Yeah? Gita said, but what if the assignments are part of coursework? It's coursework I'm referring to, Gita.
So therefore, in terms of when we upload information on the course here, whereas an assignment, we would actually have to stipulate to the student that it is a Turnitin versus this particular platform assignment. Do we have to do that?
No.
Justin, I think part of the problem is coming up because I think like Indira was trying to figure out something which I too have a similar small problem with. I think normally when you ask a student to submit an assignment or report, so we ask them to attach a Turnitin report with it. So it is like justification that this is their work, but that goes along with an assignment. Specifically different from a Turnitin assignment or MyeLearning assignment, like we originally were saying.
Correct. Right? And I was saying that you don't have to specify as well. I think it was Indira who asked that question, yes? Because each activity each activity, I'll call it that for now, has a different logo. So you notice this is a regular assignment, and that's why you see this. Now, if it were a Turnitin assignment, it would be something totally different. You'll see actually Turnitin on it, on the logo, right? Just as you could tell, this is a PDF, a Word document from a PowerPoint. So you see it like that. And then when the student clicks on it, they will know it's also Turnitin versus a regular MyeLearning assignment. All right. Before I move a little further, let me just show, because I think someone was asking about using a video, embedding a video in your assignment. So this is what it looks like. All right. And of course, it plays inside there.
I've been getting a lot.
All right. So if you want to make it a video assignment, you can do that. I think someone raised, yes, Patricia?
Yeah. With regard to Turnitin, the statement of originality, what is allowed percentage? You know, does universities set a limit in terms of?
There is, well, I mean, the limit, I think the university limit is somewhere between around 15 to 20. That's when like a serious red flag is raised. But then that's just half of the work. I mean, if you see something beyond 20%, then you would probably need to go in and see what comprise that 20%. In other words, when it has passed that limit, then, you know, before you just say, okay, across 20%, penalize him. No, if it's 20%, you want to verify what comprise that 20%.
Yeah. I need to know that because I haven't seen it listed, written anywhere, and I kept asking. So I'm glad to know this.
Oh, yeah. It's not like I have seen it particularly with I think it's either examination section or grad studies, I think. But generally, that's what I saw it somewhere. I saw it a couple places actually. So that's just a hopefully that provides some clarity.
Yeah, Justin, we generally specify that they must not go beyond 50.
Right. I know I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
But I have a follow-up question, because if 15 or 20% is a function of the settings that you place when you submit your assignment to turn it in, and it's something about number of words or something. Is there a limit to that? Because if I put 5 words, or if I put 3 words, then the percentage would change, as opposed to if I put 20 words. So does the university have a specific number of words come together that it will flag?
No, what you will do in a case like that, let me just see if I find the graphic to show you, so I have some point of reference, right?
No, I do understand, Justin, that we would go through the entire document and look at it and see where the highlights are. I'm just asking if it has a specification in terms of the number of words that you put in your setting.
They can because of the different subject areas as well.
Yeah, right. The general consensus is that you want to, in that filter or that settings field, you want to ensure that you have the bibliography is not counted as part of the similarity index. That's one of the main things, right? And common terms and concepts, like, for example, the University of the West Indies, if they use that, you don't want that to be counted as plagiarism, yeah? So things like that. But there's no standard limit with regard to that, all right? And yes, we are getting to BBC. I was just taking in some of the questions, all right? Any other questions on that, guys?
Yes, Justin. If you, yes, concerning Turnitin, MyeLearning assignments, is there any way that authenticity can be recognized when considering assignments on MyeLearning?
I think you kind of,
as opposed to Turnitin. And the second question is, can I embed?
I didn't, sorry, Risha, I didn't get. You're kind of soft. Could you say that over, please?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
All right. So 2 questions. Is there any way that we can know whether or not there's any authenticity processing on the MyeLearning assignments?
I missed part. Do you want to type it so I could respond to it? Yeah?
All right.
All right.
I'll type it.
Okay, great. So, colleagues, I know I'm looking at the time. I'm just going to ask, now I know it's not 4 o'clock yet, but I probably may go beyond just like about 10 minutes over. So I'm asking in advance if that's okay, so we can cover Blackboard and discussion forums. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm just going to cover discussion forums very quickly, and then we go straight into Blackboard. Okay? So, and I'm covering discussion forums because it's something that is important as well. Well, everything is important, but it's going to provide an avenue for you to know how students can communicate with you if they have a query. And also you could use a discussion forum for engagement purposes. All right, Alicia, you said, is there any way to know whether MyeLearning assignments are not plagiarized? One thing is you can include it in, you can pass it through Turnitin yourself. There's a separate course in MyeLearning for that. That's one. And then 2, you remember you asked the student to indicate if it's original content unless otherwise indicated. So if you realize that it's something that is sounding very familiar, then you know, or it seems very, exact to what you may have seen online or from another student, and just in your marking and just going through the assignment, then you could raise a red flag and pass it through Turnitin and so on as well. So there are different ways you could deal with it. I wouldn't say there's a hard and fast course of action. Yeah? Or, no, I wouldn't recommend this avenue. I know some persons have done it. But you see, when you ask the student to submit, because Turnitin, first of all, only recognizes text, it's kind of hard to submit a text graphic assignment, for example, into Turnitin, because then it's not going to produce the originality report you're looking for, right? So that is the problem. So if it is that it's something, a piece of text, while you are marking the, grading the assignment, you realize this is similar to what I've seen before, what I've heard before, then you know that's a red flag right there. All right. Okay, so very quick. Oh, yes. To answer that, yes. It'll be the same way as I just showed you the MyeLearning assignment. And let me just show you very quickly. So I'm not going to go through it entirely, but I'm just showing you the process, okay? So you add an activity or resource, you click on Turnitin assignment, and then you click add, or you just click on Turnitin assignment. Then, of course, you know this looks familiar, right? So you give it a title, and then you give it the text or the instructions, and it's the same field as we see here. It's the same field with the HTML box and everything, yeah? However, thereafter, it might get a little, it's more or less the same as we see here. You have submission type, number of parts or submissions, all of these things remain the same. The only thing that it gets different, however, is where it comes to the originality report options. All right? And of course, that is still, you could determine when you want the originality report to be generated. All right? If it's something that you want to be done immediately or after the due date, I always recommend that it should be done immediately so the student knows what he or she is submitting. And these are further settings as it pertains to the originality report options. Yeah? So you determine what it checks against, and all of those should be clicked as yes, whether it's against other students' papers, whether it's against internet sources, whether it's against journals online, all of those things should be clicked as yes. All right? And then after, once you click Save and Return to Course, it appears here. And just to show you, no problem, Alicia, the difference between the Turnitin assignment, as we see here, versus the normal MyeLearning assignment, as we see here. Yeah? And of course, the originality report and how to access the entries. You just download, as we see here, and then that's it. All right. So let me go very quickly in terms of, let me just share my screen one more time. And we will go to Blackboard in 2 minutes. I'm just going to show you discussion forums because you need to have a discussion forum for queries or concerns where necessary. So go to the top of your course homepage. And guess what? It's the same procedure. Add an activity or resource. Then you click forum. Right? Forum is in the second row. And then you can say questions, queries, and concerns. All right. Once you have that, you could give just general instructions. Please use this platform or avenue to express and concerns and queries. And the reason you're doing this, have you ever been in a situation in your courses, I'm sure, where a student might email you asking about a particular thing or have a query, and then you have to you reply to that student via email as well, and another student emails soon after with the same query, and then you have to say the same thing over and over and over. Yeah? Have you been in that situation?
Yeah.
Right. So this is why you want to create this avenue. So they will place it on, the concerns will be placed in MyeLearning, and all of the students will see not just the queries and concerns, but also your responses. So they don't have to ask the same questions over and over, and you don't have to be, you won't have to be saying the same thing repeatedly. Now, once you state that, you leave it as a standard form for general use. All right. And then that is it. It's as simple as that. You click Save and Return to Course, and it's there. All right. And because it's a standard form for general use, it means that any student can go in and post a query or concern. Of course, you have the right of whether you want to delete that query if it's something that is, you know, outside of netiquette guidelines, so to speak. All right. So let's go very quickly into Blackboard. Now, Blackboard, we know what Blackboard is. It's an online video conferencing platform. And at the top of your course, just under the form we just created, it's the same procedure. Add an activity or resource. And then you click Blackboard. You're going to see it's the only purple icon inside here. So Blackboard. And I want you to give it the title Virtual Sessions. And the reason you're giving it the title Virtual Sessions is you want some sort of consistency across the board, so students don't have to be, you know, searching and wondering and so on. So call it Virtual Sessions for now. And then you just scroll down and click Save and Return to Course. So you see how simple it is. It's just like how you created the forum just now. It's just like how you created groups. Yeah?
So Justin, do you need to put in one for each week, or you just use one and use it every
Good question. Lecture? So what we're about to do now is pre-schedule our sessions. All right? So you don't have to do it every week, but you could do it. You could pre-schedule them. So click on what you just created, Virtual Sessions. And you would see a page that looks something like this. Let me just delete this because I created this before. It would look a page that looks something like this. Yeah? So what I want you to do is click Create Session. You can click any one, whether it's at the left side or in the center. Click Create Session. And I want you to give it a name. Let's say I can call it Session 1, since this is a module on remote learning. Yeah? Or I can call it Session 1, Course Orientation. Right? Then right after that, I'm saying you want to give it something a little specific, because when you go to the recordings, you don't want all the recordings to have the same name, because when the student is trying to review the recordings for, you know, for exam preparations or whatnot, you don't want the student to have to now sift through which one is which, and it could be a bit frustrating. So give it a title that is relevant to the content you're going to cover in that session. Yeah? So after that, you give it you click Guest Access. Now, the reason you're clicking Guest Access is particularly if you have a session where you're inviting someone in the field, a specialist, you know, out there, who would be willing and able to attend a session and probably make a presentation. Let's say, for example, Gita, you might want to invite a specialist from the medical fraternity to come and address or present on a topic. Yeah? So it makes it a little easier now, guys. You don't have to have like your guest lecturers come in through MyeLearning or physically to a classroom. They can do it virtually. You just send the link to them, and that's it. Now you'll get the link when you save this session. All right, so don't worry, we'll get back to it. So at this point, you want to set the date of your particular session. So I could leave mine as the 4th of September. And I can set the time for, let's say, 4 o'clock. And I'm going to click No End, Open Session. No End, Open Session. And the reason I'm clicking No End, Open Session is to allow me to have the control of closing off the session. I don't want the session to cut off if it's like a 5 minutes over, because sometimes students have questions at the end of your lecture. Before you end the lecture, they ask a lot of questions. And the last thing you want is your session to just end abruptly when you are halfway through explaining something. Yeah, you want to kind of be facilitative. So to that end, you want to leave it as a no end session or open session. Yeah. Then early entry, yes, and I would say from 60 minutes before it starts. Now it doesn't mean that you have to start your session 60 minutes before. It just means that persons are in the room or can join the room from 60 minutes before. Yeah? And that gives them the opportunity to test out any kinks, if they are not, if they have any troubles with microphones and so on. It's very much like what we did today. This session was open in advance, and so persons were able to join quite early. Yeah? So far, so good, guys? Now one of the things that we have here, great. After that, we have session settings. And one thing with session settings is whether you allow sessions to be recorded, recorded sessions to be downloaded. That is up to you, all right? But your sessions must be recorded. Whether you allow them to be downloaded or not is up to you. I'm just showing you the options and then you make the final choice, yeah? Now, if you ensure that, go ahead, Maria.
So, if it's not downloadable, it's going to be available where they can view it, right there on BBC.
It'll be actually in the same
and they'll be able to view it at any time.
Once they have internet.
Okay, thank you.
So the difference between the two is, if it's not downloadable, they will have to, first of all, have internet and then access MyeLearning and Blackboard to view the recording right there. If it's downloadable, then they can download it on their device and look at it when they, at any time. They wouldn't need internet, they wouldn't need MyeLearning, they can review it at any time. Yeah? So it's just a matter of convenience, if you want to give them that privilege or convenience or not. But you will still have to record, as per the mandate from the principal, you will have to record the sessions because it's remote, yeah? So, and so once we have that, we click Create. And if we go back to the previous tab with Guest Access, we see the link that we had here, right? And if you wanted to copy and paste that link to send it to a colleague or a specialist in your field, then you can do so. So the guest lecturer or the guest speaker will not need to access MyeLearning to join your virtual session. Yeah, make sense?
Would the guests be able to show their PowerPoint from where they are using the same link?
Good question. Yes, as long as you make them the moderator. And this is where we'll go to now. So So I'm saving this, click save, and you will see your session highlighted there. All right. Now to join a session, you're going to click on the 3 little dots on the right of the session title. It's right here. You're not going to join it now, but just click on it, and you're going to see join session. All right. So let me go back to my PowerPoint to show you exactly and now we're going to do the rest of it in here, and it's very simple. And I prepared it in my PowerPoint just so it'll guide you, and I know we will have questions, so I kind of had it as a backup in my PowerPoint just in case. All right. So I just walked you through the process of creating the session, right? And if I were to recap, we have it here from your course homepage. You turn editing on, then you add an activity or resource, standard procedure, then you click Blackboard, right? After that, we did this already. Remember, we did all of this, and then we added there, and that's it. And then we created a session, right? We clicked on the session we just created, and we click create session, and these are the other steps that we did. And then we're in this place now where we created the entire session. And then we looked at joining a Blackboard session, which would be as we just did. Yeah. So that was just to give you a quick recap. So once you click on that, it will take you to this page where, just as when you were joining this particular session, these are the things that you saw. All right. So and when we get into this part now where we will give persons privileges. So what I'm going to do very quickly, Amina, or where is?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. I'm going to make you a moderator in the session.
Okay.
And I'll explain accordingly. I'm making a couple others moderators. And you will see that you're a moderator when you get you'll just get a little notification. Janelle, I'm making you a moderator.
Yes.
Don't worry, don't get nervous. It's just it's just very it's very simple, right? Rodolfo, I made you a moderator. Maria, I'm making you a moderator. Ladana, I'm making you a moderator as well. And I'll continue making other persons moderators as we go along, right? Indira, I'm making you a moderator as well, okay? Arlette, I'm making you a moderator. In fact, those who are made moderators, I'm going to ask you now to make others moderators, right? To do that, okay. Sure. Thank you so much, Rodolfo. All right, so Rodolfo, yes, you're a moderator already. So to make other persons moderators, and this pertains to when you want your students to do presentations or in your course, in your sessions, or as Patricia just asked, if you want your guest lecturer to do a presentation, yeah, they would need to be made moderators or presenters, right? Now the difference between the moderator and the presenter is that the presenter could only present. They could help navigate through your PowerPoint, but the moderator can basically, it's like teacher level in your MyeLearning course. You could mute people, you could unmute people, you could kick people out, you could, upload things and enable activities and so on. The presenter would not be able to do those things. All right. So to add someone to make them the moderator, what I need you to do, you would go into the participants list. The guys who were made moderators, I'm going to ask you now to go to the participants list. That is the icon just next to the chat icon at the lower right side. All right. And then you're going to find someone's name, right? And you would see 3 dots next to that person's name. Yeah? 3 dots next to that person's name. Click on those 3 dots. So for example, Maria.
Hi, I'm already trying.
Right. Oh, you saw it already, right?
Seeing, send a chat message, make a presenter, make participant, make captioner.
Right. You said make a presenter. So that, no, I need to go to
Justin, I made you a presenter.
I realized. Thank God I have 2 accounts. So definitely. So who was I speaking to just now? I think it was Maria.
Yeah.
So Maria, go to the participants list.
Uh-huh.
And make Alicia a moderator or presenter.
Okay. Alicia, yes.
Right. And you would notice you see make moderator, make moderator, make presenter, etc.
Yes.
Right? Yes, Gita, everyone I'm saying do that. So all of the persons I made moderators. Gita, are you a moderator? No? I thought I made you a moderator just now.
But hold on, Justin. I cannot make people moderators. I'm not getting all the options, and it could be because I don't have an STA active account right now.
No. This is something
Justin, I'm
not seeing the option. That's what Andira, I think, was saying.
Justin, I'm the same. I don't have those options.
No, listen now. So what I'm saying is, go to persons who are participants, not fellow moderators. Go to participants.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because you can't make a moderator if they're already a moderator. Let's go ahead.
Okay, I just made somebody a moderator. Okay.
Great.
Where's the participant list?
Right, Arlette, are you a moderator? You're a moderator already, right?
Oh, I see it. I got it.
Right.
Okay, so I was made a moderator and I made 2 persons moderator myself.
There we go. There we go.
That's easy.
I know, right? It's fairly easy.
Yes.
Glad to hear that somebody said that's easy, like, you know. I like that. And it really is. It really is a user-friendly piece of software. So this is just the start of it. So the next step now, so I think we all have moderators here. The captioner is just that person who basically is, you know, like, how to describe this, boy? Is that person who, for example, will provide a textual thing to what you are saying, almost like a text-based, while you are explaining something, that person is typing away, yeah? So to speak, just to give you a good idea of a rough idea of it. All right? Like, I couldn't find the word, yes, like a scribe, definitely. All right, so the next thing we're gonna look at would be so we looked at a couple things so far in BBC. The next thing we're gonna look at is sharing a file very quickly. Now, I'm gonna show you how to do it so you can follow the slides here while you do it on the left side, on the right side, sorry. So to share a file, you click on the menu icon, right? Now you already have it open, so that's okay. And you see where you just click the attendees icon. So now you're going to the next icon. Somebody went and put the whiteboard. That's okay, but try not to change it yet because
I'll close it, sorry.
Yeah, I want to show you the steps so you could follow. All right, and you could follow the steps from the PowerPoint here. Before we close off. All right. Let me just get it back. All right. So we click on that little arrow icon next to the attendees icon at the bottom right side, and then you're going to see share files. Click on share files. and you're probably going to see a menu that looks like this. You would see at the top right side, add files. Yeah? So what I need you to do is, now the thing is, BBC or Blackboard only allows you to add 3 types of files: PowerPoint, presentations, images, like a JPEG, a PNG, etc., and PDFs, right? Now, I would recommend, based on my experience and knowledge of how the platform behaves, I would recommend that you save your PowerPoints as a PDF. Because sometimes when you upload a PowerPoint as is into Blackboard, it skews the layout of it, especially if you have graphics and so on in your PowerPoint. The last thing you want is a table with, you know, the heading missing and that kind of thing. So when you when you upload it as a PowerPoint, as a PDF, sorry, it doesn't skew the layout and so on of your presentation. Yeah? So you can drag it into that plus sign or dotted box, or you can one sec, or you can click the plus sign button, sorry, and then great, Rodolfo. I'm just trying to put back up my PowerPoint so everyone could follow the process. All right, don't share it yet. Don't share it yet. I just want everybody to be able to do it as much as possible. So try not to change the PowerPoint, okay? So we should all be on this particular. Once you upload it, you would see it's there. And then you click Share Now. Now click Share Now, and that will just open up the different pages in that particular document. If it's a slideshow, then it would show you different slides. If it's a PDF, and this works it comes in very handy if you have a PDF, a case study, right? So good. So someone just changed it to parotid gland, right? And this is a PowerPoint from what I'm seeing, and you could navigate through that. Yeah? So far, so good? Great. So, so everyone.
Yes, yes.
Great. Arlette has.
Yes.
Arlette has good as well.
Yes.
Great. Excellent.
Hello. General, I use PDF, but the first file that I see was this one, PPTs.
Right.
What is the problem with the PPT? That I know that sometimes it's slow and difficult to run. When you do in PDF, it's less space and run easily.
Right. Now with the PPT or the PowerPoint, it skews the layout of your graphics and the text and so on. So for example, in this slide you have here, let's say if you run the risk of it being the image being halfway off the PowerPoint slide and that kind of thing.
I prefer PDF. I prefer PDF.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So you prefer PDF. Can you show, I think Alana said, can you show a video you created if it doesn't accept? I'm trying to, can you show a video you created if it doesn't accept other types of files? Could you break that down for me, Alana, please? Are you saying you want to show a video? Okay, great. So if you want to show a video, I would recommend that you, thanks so much. I would recommend that you do a couple things. I have my preference, and I'll see what my preference is after, but you have 2 different ways. You can share your screen and show the video on your screen. So you share your screen and students will be looking at the same, just as how we are looking at this presentation, they will be looking at the video. All right? Like how I was showing you how to do different things in MyeLearning, it'll be the same thing. All right? However, the other way, if it's something that you have a link to, then I would recommend that you post the link in the chat and give students a couple minutes to look at that video. Yeah? And then you come back and proceed into a discussion or questions about that video and so on. All right? Does that help? Great. So because the platform, you wouldn't be able to upload an MP4 or a video. So you would have to show it either on your screen or post the link. You see your virtual session as a very small window. How do you get your window to full size? If it's a window, then you would see, were you using a PC, correct? You would see, just click on the maximize button at the top right side, next to the X. That should open it up. If it's the entire page or window.
I don't see it. I just see the cross and update session.
You just see what?
A cross and update session in one of the black this thing box, and below that I see setting, and that's it.
No. I'm a little lost with what you're referring to. Are you saying that you can't? You see the window, the Blackboard window is very small. That's what you said.
Yes.
Right. So at the top of that window, where you have, like, if you wanted to X off the session, you would see next to that X a sort of square. Click on the square.
There's no square.
I'm talking about the not just within Blackboard, you know, I'm talking about the entire window, if that's what you're referring to. Like the entire page.
It is the entire. It is occupying my whole screen of the computer.
Oh, it's occupying the whole screen. Okay.
But there's a virtual session, and there's a small black box which has a cross and update session thing, and below that I just see the cogwheel and one purple window.
You're breaking up a little bit. I'll try to continue, and then we could work it out after, right? I don't want to keep anybody too far behind, right? Yes. Yeah. So I'm glad you have some experience now in terms of uploading content and so on. Can I show you a little bonus thing that might be of use to you, if you don't mind? The intention was just to take you up to this part, but I think, oh, there's one thing I have to include, sorry, before we go any further. Now, you don't have to do anything here. I'll just show you on my slide. So try not to change your PowerPoint at this point. Very quickly, how to record a session. Now, I don't want you to click anything because I don't want the session to stop recording and then it's two different sessions to join. Unfortunately, with Blackboard, if you stop, there's no pausing of a recording. Yeah? If it stops recording, then that's it. All right? So, yeah, you kind of, you know, it is what it is, right? So yeah, you don't want to do that. Now, to pause the recording, sorry, to record a session, many of you would see at the top right side, let me just find my PowerPoint. Let me see. Just give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm just sifting through my PowerPoint because I thought I was missing something. Okay, good. You would see, I'll just explain. So on the top right side, oh, here it is. You would, okay, someone just took off my PowerPoint again. Try not to and I just got the slides. So I think this is a good example of why you don't want to make the majority of your class or multiple persons moderators. you want to, your moderator should be just about 1 or 2 persons, or 2 to 3 persons. Yeah. Okay. So you would see at the top right, top left side. Now don't click it. I'm just showing you where you're going to go to record your session. You don't have to do anything except look at this PowerPoint, this slide right now. When you click on the menu at the top left side, right, you're going to see something that looks like this. Too many cooks on the broad. Exactly, right? And you don't want your students to hijack your session and then they bump you off and then you have to go back in and then take control of it and all that stuff, right? So, but I'm doing this because I want you to see, not just, I don't want to just explain and just show you passively. I want you to get a hands-on feeling of it, right? Experience with it. So, so yes, when you click on that the button on the left side, the 3 lines, you're going to see start, well, in this case, start recording. And then the session begins recording. And you will always tell that the session is recording because even if you look now, you see on the left side, don't click it. You see on the left side a little camera with a red button in it. So it lets you know that the session is being recorded. All right. Can I go a step further? So let's say you wanted to do, it wasn't really scheduled for this particular, Gita said yes, please. It wasn't really scheduled for this particular workshop, but I'm just going to do a bonus, right? I was saying that much earlier, Rodolfo. Yes, now we have to record the lectures. Whether you let them make them downloadable is up to you, but the principal has mandated that all lectures, online lectures, are to be recorded. Yeah. So as we move forward, I'm going to do very quickly polls. So you would notice, guys, on the left, on the right side now, next to that button with the attendees, you would see polls. Under share files, you would see polling. Let me find the PowerPoint so it'll guide you accordingly again. All right, so if we wanted to do, I'm going to, what I normally was reserving for our next session, but I'm doing it now. Let me find it for you. Good. So we have here polls. All right. So this is what it looks like. You click on the middle icon, as you see on the left, the graphic on the left, click on polling, and that would open a new window for you. Another window, a new menu, right? Select yes or no choices. In this instance, you could select multiple choice or yes or no, and you're going to insert your question. All right, as you see on this graphic here. So remember I did a poll earlier to find out how many persons had access to a MyeLearning course and so on. This is how you do it. All right. Now the thing about this, while you're creating, so you could go ahead and type in, you could go ahead and follow the process, create a poll, and I'll explain something to you. Now the thing with polls, when you, somebody keeps removing my PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is to guide the larger class. I don't want you to remove my PowerPoint, yeah? So, or else I'll have to put you back as participants. Yes, Maria?
Because we're having this problem with multiple moderators, and this is from my knowledge, could you remove someone as a moderator, like now?
Yeah. You could, so I would give you that. So although it might be, nobody take it personal, right? But I didn't do it because I wanted to show you how to create a poll. Yeah. So everybody sees what it looks like, at least how to create it. But yes, you're definitely right. You can do that. All right. So let me do very quickly. Try not to remove the PowerPoint, please, guys. You know, because I really want to wrap it up. And Yeah. So polling, yes or no, or multiple choice, and then you insert your question. Now, I was saying that it helps if you can copy and paste. If you have your questions in advance, let's say in a Word document or something, and you want to copy and paste your question, it's better to do it like that. Because what happens is when you move from that page, all right, when you move from that page, you lose your pool. Yeah? Okay? No, I'm on this slide. Try not to move my slides, please. What is this? All right. So I don't want to delay the class, guys, because I know we need to end. So I don't want people moving my slides. Otherwise, I'll have to make you back into a participant. So please don't move my slides. Yeah. So yeah. So you want to make sure you copy and paste your polls. Could somebody just start a poll following the process? Dieter, would you like to start a poll?
Yes.
Okay. So okay, there you go. And you can click accordingly. See how easy that is?
How do I put the question though?
Oh, you didn't put it. Okay, so let me stop the poll. When you click on it, so you see the graphic on the left side here. When you click on yes or no, type your question in.
Go to poll. Oh, it's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna have to, because I think we keep moving the PowerPoint and so on, so I'm gonna have to end it in a bit. But so I'm putting a poll. Okay, someone please another.
Yes.
So good. So I think we have another poll here. All right. And thank you so much for that. I'm glad that it was beneficial to you. All right. And I want, Patricia, are you there? Oh, somebody did it already. So somebody showed the results. Good. Now, when you do that, you lock the poll, so persons wouldn't be able to vote again. So so this is just management of the poll, some tips on it. You want to make sure you give students time to respond. I usually give them about a minute at least.
Would you say it's a good idea to do this throughout your presentations or your course to know whether the attendance is still there?
Yes, do it from time to, but not too often though, because it takes a little time for you to go back, unless
intersperse, and it helps to keep the attention and awareness.
Yeah, you're definitely on the right track. Definitely. I would also recommend that when you're doing a Blackboard sessions the first couple times, first or second time, you want to do it with a colleague, whether it's another lecturer who can, provide assistance, or even a technician.
The other question I wanted to ask you, why did you need so many moderators? Is it for that reason?
Right. No, I did it in this particular case because I wanted everybody to see what it looks like and how to navigate through the system. But in your actual case, yeah, you would just have maybe one other moderator. Yeah?
Would preferably be a technician or another expert?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's not a fellow lecturer, at least a technician.
Yeah.
And
like
the thing with that,
technicians, maybe you could let them know that we need technicians.
Definitely. And in fact, that's something they're working on, to be quite honest with you, at least a learning support specialist as well in some regard. So that is something in the pipeline, yeah? And no problem, Gita. And I was going to say, yes, so you have that support, and that assistant is able, or you can even delegate a student, one student, not 3 and 4 like what we have now, but just one student, a class rep, for example, who can assist you in this course. So that person will be able to load or queue the polls and, you know, help you with those things. Yeah? Is that helpful?
Yes.
Great. So guys, I think this brings us to the end of our session.
I'm just,
I don't want to. Yes.
I have some questions, not now. Can I email you?
Sure. All right, you could email me any question, Patricia, that you feel led to do so. And now the thing is, everyone will get a copy of this recording, so you don't have to worry too much about, you know, whether you remember all of this. You're gonna get a copy of the recording, and I think in order to register, did you get an email last week, guys, about the schedule of workshops that we had, including this one? And the second document had some very useful resources. No. Okay. Okay, Patricia, is it okay if you just include that in the email you're sending to me?
Okay.
Just send it to everyone, because I know after this workshop I might forget. So I'm just asking, please. Now you may not. No, the schedule is that current schedule will be updated sometime next week.
Okay.
But I think the resources on the second page will be of use to you. Yeah, because it has tutorial videos, web pages, and so on that might be of use to you. All right. So guys, just to recap, thank you so much. I'm seeing the comments in the chat. Thank you so much, Indra. Thanks so much, Indra. Yes. Well, if you want, Gita, I think after, well, the session kind of closes off after this. We looked at, just to recap, we looked at MyeLearning, we edited our profiles, we looked at using the various resources such as the labels and the uploading Word documents and so on. We looked at assessment activities such as Turnitin and MyeLearning assessments, as well as we looked at a host of other features such as grading and so on. Not just grading, sorry, creating groups. We looked at navigation. We did quite a lot more than we intended to do. And of course, we looked at Blackboard Collaborate, which we also did a lot more than we intended to do in Blackboard Collaborate. I was really going to stop at just showing you how to record, how to create, join, upload content, and record a session, but we went a couple steps further, so which is good. All right. Any other questions, guys, before we close off?
So Justin, we have to request this recording, or would it be automatically sent?
It will be automatically sent once you register, but it will be sent to the email that you registered, that you used to register for this workshop.
Okay. There was one that was attended to Monday. That recording has not been sent yet, correct?
Right. No, I was saying earlier in the session it will be sent between now and Monday.
Thank you.
Because I had training sessions every day, it was kind of hard to...
That's quite understandable.
Yeah.
So I didn't miss it.
No. Yeah. So, and so next week we just have one more session, I think on Monday, and then I'm gonna just take a little, not a break I should say, but just take some time to do production, to update the schedule and produce those recordings for this week, and then we go back into training again. All right. I mean, I have 2-3 workshops there, but just it wouldn't be as on heavy rotation as this. All right. If you need any support or assistance, please feel free to send an email to, you can send it to me, justin.zephyrin@sta.uwi.edu, or if it's a technical thing such as any like accessing MyeLearning as we looked at earlier, you know, those sorts of things, then you definitely want to send that email to servicedesk@sta.uwi.edu. All right. And I have my email address here for other queries or questions. Any of the things that you might need help or refresher with, you can shoot me an email. You send me that email and I should be able to respond in a timely fashion. So guys, as you go forward, keep your session. Thank you so much for the comments, definitely. I appreciate it. Continue to be creative, continue to be collaborative, continue to be, make the process fun. It's fun for you and it should be fun for them. It's not a ton of work. It just means you're adjusting. You're making adjustments. You should have gotten by now an email with the workshop evaluation link. So please feel free to fill that out so I can get some tips on how to improve. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. So thank you so much again, guys, and have a great afternoon. Thanks so much, Geeta.
Thanks, Justin. Thank you.
Justin. Thanks, everyone. Be safe.
Same to you and everyone else. Be safe, guys. Yeah?
Thanks, Justin.
Okay, have a good evening, everyone. If you need, if to leave the room, you can just X off the window. You can just close off the window. You're most welcome, Rodolfo. Thanks for participating, everyone.
Hi, Justin. I have a quick question.
Sure.
I didn't see Turnitin assignment when trying to add an activity. Is it that it's not live in the test course environment, the CETL one that I have access to?
It's not any test environment. No.
Understood. I also can I have a new test course added, because I'm teaching under Department of Physics as well as Department of Economics. However, there are some difficulties with economics, so I don't have a contract, I don't have keys, I don't have responses to emails, I have nothing. So I kind of want to be able to build my course in the test environment, so whenever they send me my things, I could just kind of, just import. Is it possible for me to get an additional test course?
Sure. Just send me an email and you could tell me the name of the course and I could name it according to that convention. Convention. Name of the course, so to speak. So I could, because when I have more than one test course for one person, I try to be a little more specific. So, so I'll know which one you're referring to when it's time to copy it over or whatnot.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Justin.
No problem.
Justin, while you're still there, maybe I can ask you again.
Sure.
One of the persons who I invite to be on this session, she is actually my medical technologist, so she does the lab component. Now, I've really given her the keys. She sends me information, I peruse it, and then on MyeLearning. But I invited her here because she has to teach the lab component part on Blackboard Collaborate. So I to ask Maria to get her an email address, UE email address, or could I just have her as a guest, give her the link? I mean, how do I do that?
I think
she's going to be teaching for weeks.
She's going to be teaching for?
A couple of weeks, maybe 6 weeks as the case may be.
I mean, it would be better if she has a UE account.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the best thing. I wouldn't recommend, especially if she's doing it for a couple of weeks. I wouldn't recommend, I mean, if it was just a 1 or 2 session, then maybe, but if it's something that is a little more ongoing, I know the protocols the protocols on the campus, so to not go against those. That might take a while if she hasn't had an account before. So what I would recommend is that initially you could give her the link.
An account, once she gives me the information, I'm going to post it as we have done in previous years.
Right.
To teach rather than we have a lab. The lab has never been hands-on.
Right.
The labs have never been hands-on. All right. Now it is just virtual. All right, to explain. So I'm not too sure if she really needs the email address per se, and I could always probably add as a guest, as you suggested.
Yeah.
And
definitely as a guest. I'm just saying that if it is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Just so nobody would come and ask, well, who is this? What? just to cover yourself, basically. So,
you know, for what she.
Yeah, and I totally understand the situation. So,
in one of my courses, he was a university lecturer. I mean, so I usually give him the key because he's a immunologist, and he has complex graphics that he has to put on. So I usually give him the key that he will go and, you know, whatever he needs to add.
Right.
The other major thing I'm concerned about in terms of team-based learning, or probably not really team-based, when I put them in teams, I want to give them exercises to test them on, you know, per week. All right. I want them to collaborate within their groups, but I don't want them to be sharing. And I'll give them activities which will be marked. You know, so that is one. And, you know, we can talk about it further. We don't have to go on doing it here. And when it comes to testing, I would like to be able to, for the questions to be scrambled.
So you're referring like the exercises, you're referring to quizzes?
Yeah, be it quizzes, whatever.
Okay.
And particularly for the final exam, I'm concerned about that because students could easily cheat if they have too much of a window of time, you know, to answer questions. So those we can discuss next week or so. We don't have to do it now.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized. One sec. I think this session is some reason. Okay, good.